Shalom to come. Shalom to come. Y'all can hear me good, Con? Con. Y'all can hear me good? A little bit. That speaker working good? Yeah. Con. All right. Let's see. Let's try this out. Is that better? Better. All right. I want to say shalom to come. Ashar Shabbat. What we gonna do today? Everybody remember what we went into last week? We went into the Council of Jerusalem, right? So, and we touched on Galatians chapter 1 and Galatians chapter 2. What we're gonna do today is go fully into Galatians chapter 3. Get a full understanding of that, because Galatians 3 is one of those Christian strongholds, one of the places that they like to go to for two reasons. They go there to say that the law is done away with and that the law is a curse, which don't make no sense at all, and that the heathen can be saved. The heathen is grafted into Israel. This is what they try to use Galatians 3 for. So we're going to go in here and get the full context of what's actually going on in Galatians 3. Everybody know what context mean? What would y'all say the context mean? What does context mean?
Context is when you can develop something together, whereas you get a better understanding.
All right.
I'm trying to say it, right?
What would y'all say? Context, same thing?
Context is what's in the information you're getting ready to present. It's actually the information you're getting ready to present.
Right. I'm gonna pull up the exact, like the full definition of context, right? Context refers to the circumstances, background, or setting surrounding an event, statement, or idea that helps explain its meaning, right? It includes both the immediate text surrounding a word, which is the verbal context, and the broader situation or environment in which something occurs, situational context, right? So verbal context being the words, phrases, or sentences that come before and after specific passages determining its true meaning. And the situational context, circumstances, the time, location, culture, and conditions surrounding an event or behavior. So we're going to get the verbal context by reading this, the whole thing, and we're going to get the situational context by going into history and seeing what was going on at that time and around that time. Con? Everybody ready? Call hallelujah. All right. So we're gonna start off. Actually, if you could pull up for me Galatians. We're gonna read that. Actually, no, let's get to Josephus first. Let's get to Josephus first. We're gonna get the Antiochus.
Yeah, I lift that big heavy joint.
Antiochus the Great. Everybody know who Antiochus the Great was, right?
Cut.
It's not the same as Antiochus the Fifth.
Nah, right.
Well, his father. I slipped up. His father. Antiochus Epiphanes was the third son of Antiochus the Great. Right?
And you got Antipater and so forth.
Right. So you got, which one you got there?
Yeah, Antipater or Antipater.
Nah, not that. I was saying the Josephus, the Antiquity of the Jews. Which one that's
And then, you know what? I was thinking another definition.
We're gonna get, like I said, we're gonna go into a lot of history right now.
Pronunciation.
What that say on top?
Antiochus. Antiochus. Antiochus.
That one you just.
Antiochus is closer because it has a CH.
Go past, yeah, right there.
All
right. So this is what we're looking into.
That's car.
Are they able to see that on our screen?
I like Antiochus better.
In TV land? They're not able to see that in TV land?
Yeah, let me put it
up. Come.
And
we're gonna get the next one after this. We're not gonna read this one right here. I was just showing them where it was coming from. Antiquity of the Jews. We're gonna go into chapter 12. Book 12, chapter 3, verse 4. So we're gonna go to the next one after this. No, we're not gonna actually read this one. That was just showing them where it was coming from. Right? Next one, I believe that's it right there. Yeah. Yeah, so start at number 4. You see number 4? Come. We're gonna read
The
it.
contents of this epistle.
Right.
Yeah.
Context of this epistle. This is Josephus wrote this. To begin into some history on what was going
I
on.
left that big book home.
Huh?
Left that big book home.
Say that again?
I left that big book home.
Oh yeah, I got that at home too. There's a lot of books I got at home.
Let me see what.
Yeah, it's too much to bring here. Right? But we're gonna start there. Who's reading?
I'll read. You want me to read from this?
Huh?
I'll read some
Yeah,
You want to read?
I'll read some books. Who has them?
Me. I'll put it on.
It's right there.
All right, this is coming from the Josephus, chapter 4. And these were the contents of this epistle. He also published a decree through all his kingdom in honor of the temple, which contained what follows. It shall be lawful for no foreigner to come within the limits of the temple round about.
So what we're reading about, this is a letter that Antiochus the Great wrote, right? He wrote this letter actually to Ptolemy, and he's talking about how he's gonna grant Jews certain privileges, right? Read on.
It says, it shall be lawful for no foreigner to come within the limits of the temple round about.
So
Which-
he's actually letting us keep our laws. Like he's pushing it as law, like no foreigner could come to our temple. We know that's against the law. That's against our rules, right? Read on,
Which thing is forbidden also to the Judites,
right?
unless those who, according to their own custom, have purified themselves.
Mhm.
Nor let any flesh of horses or of mules or of asses be brought into the city,
Right?
whether they be wild or tame,
Uh-huh.
nor
He
that
said, make sure you don't even bring that flesh into the city. Like he's really helping us enforce our laws, right? We don't.
nor that of leopards or foxes or hares, and in general that of any animal which is forbidden for the Judeans to eat.
Right?
Nor let their skins be brought into it, nor let any such animal be bred up in the city. Let them only be permitted to use the sacrifices derived from their forefathers,
Right?
with which they have been obliged to make acceptable atonements to the Most High.
Uh-huh.
And he that transgresseth any of these orders, let him pay to the priest 3,000 drachmae
So think
of
about
silver.
this. Think about this, right? How much would we love this man? He helping us keep our laws, pushing our laws when he came into power, right? Read on.
Moreover, this Antiochus bear testimony to our piety and fidelity in an epistle of his, written when he was informed of a sedition in Phrygia and Lydia,
Phrygia and Lydia, Colossae and Phrygia, right? Lydia is in Galatia, right? Read.
at which time he was in the superior provinces, wherein he commanded Zeuxis, the general of his forces, and his most intimate friend, to send some of our nation out of Babylon into Phrygia.
Our nation being Israel. This is Josephus speaking, right? That Antiochus sent of our nation to these places. These are the same places that Paul was visiting. Keep this in mind. This is hundreds of years before Paul. Over 100 years before Paul. Read on.
The epistle was this: King Antiochus to Zeuxis, his father, sendeth greeting. If thou beest in health, it is well. I also am in health, having been informed that a sedition is arisen in Lydia and Phrygia. I thought that matter required great care, and upon advising with my friends what was fit to be done, it have been thought proper to remove 2,000 families of the Judeans with their effects out of Mesopotamia and Babylon unto the castles and places that lie most convenient.
So he took 2,000 whole families to these places. Think about that. 2,000, not 2,000 men, 2,000 families. Don't know how many children was in there. And think about all these children growing up around these Greek type people.
Right.
know what I'm saying? When we look at us over here, Hellenism we know started during the time of Alexander the Great, right? From Alexander the Great to Paul was over 400 years. You think about when we first came over here in slavery to how we are now, right? Our ancestors that came over here in slavery would not recognize it. They won't recognize who we are because we became what? Fully American. So over 400 years of Hellenization being going on. You got over here with Antiochus the Great. That's over 100 years. Well over 100. It was 100 years from his son. 140 years, I want to say, from his son moving into the time of Paul. You know what I'm saying? Think about all that time about people being over in these areas, right? But let's keep on reading. He says, so he sent 2,000 families of the Jews for us to help the Greek cause over there in Phrygia and Lydia. Y'all seeing this, right? Read on.
For I am persuaded that they will be well-disposed guardians of our possessions.
They're going to be well-disposed because he helping us with our Lord. We're going to help make sure that, the Greeks keep control of it. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Because of their piety towards the Most High, and because I know that my predecessors have borne witness to them,
right,
that they are faithful and with alacrity do what they are desired to do.
Right. So we first was moved out. A lot of our people was first moved out during the time of Antiochus the Great. We, of course, was spreading around before, but now you got Jews moving to these specific areas in Asia Minor because Antiochus the Great took them there, right? You want to keep all this stuff in mind, right? So you could drop that one. We're gonna get we're gonna go into the Apocrypha. Let's get Book of the Maccabees, right?
So you could drop these, right?
Huh?
You drop those up. Drop that? All right.
Con, you could grab for me just to have it up and ready.
Yes, sir.
Actually, you could grab Galatians for me. Galatians for me. In the so you can pull that up from Galatians in the Jewish Encyclopedia. And somebody grab me. We're gonna get First Maccabees, and we're gonna start at Galatians.
That one he was reading this.
Not that one right there, because we're gonna go. There's a few other pictures up there. Got Galatians and the Jewish Encyclopedia. It's up there on one of those, right? But First Maccabees chapter 1, and we're gonna read at verse 11. Actually, yeah, verse 11.
Read out the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verse 11. In those days went there out.
Let's start up at verse 9.
All right. Read out of First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verse 9. And after his death, they all put on crowns upon themselves.
So it's talking about after the death of Alexander the Great, right? After the death of Alexander the Great, his 4 generals all put on their crowns. You had Lysimachus, Cassander, Seleucid, and Ptolemy, and they all had their areas, right?
Right.
Seleucid, when you look at the Seleucid dynasty, Seleucids had the largest territory out of all the 4 generals, and Israel was part of that.
Right.
Israel, along with all the places that we see Paul going.
Okay.
Right, read on.
So did their sons after them.
So did their sons after them, which Antiochus was a direct descendant of Seleucus, right? Read on.
Many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
Right.
And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes.
And he was the son of Alexander, Antiochus the Great. Antiochus the Great is known as Antiochus the Third, also known as Antiochus. I heard it said both.
Yeah.
Antiochus, Antiochus. I'm so used to saying Antiochus.
Yeah, all of us.
Right, and then you got Antiochus the Fourth, which is Antiochus Epiphanes. Right. Read on.
Son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome.
Who has been a hostage at Rome, right? Read on.
And he reigned in the 130 and 7th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Right. So he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks, right? Read on.
Verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
So during this time, and everybody knows this is proven history. And those days, there was Israelites, wicked Israelites that was living in the land of Israel, right? And what was they doing?
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
They wanted to make covenants.
Sell out.
They wanted to join with these things, right? Read on.
Verse 12. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathens.
Now, the places of exercise, these places, not only was they getting them ready for become soldiers, but they was teaching them Greek philosophy.
The water.
They was exercising, they were doing all the wickedness and abominations that the Greeks was doing in these places. And this is what they brought to the land of Israel. They wanted to follow after them. They wanted to be like them. You know what I'm saying? But you were the same way. You see everybody following after America and how America do. Greece was ruling everything at the time.
Right.
That was the best of the best. That was that golden place that everybody wanted to be at. So they wanted to act like the Greeks, wanted to be like the Greeks. Right?
Could I say something real quick? And when he said they built places of exercises, that's modern day gymnasiums, which means naked spa.
Right. Naked spa. Right? But you keep on reading. That's a fact.
Verse 14, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathens, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant.
I hear that, right? This is why one of the reasons why you hear Paul talking about circumcision and uncircumcision. We made ourselves uncircumcised spiritually, and they was actually going through procedures to make themselves uncircumcised again. Yeah, they was doing all that back then. Wicked. You know what I'm saying? But spiritually, we was making ourselves uncircumcised.
Right.
And we're gonna see how far this actually went, right? Keep on reading.
And joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
This is going on in Israel. This is going on in Israel. Antiochus Epiphanes, also known as Antiochus Epiphanes or Antiochus IV, he ruled from 175 to 164 BC. Right? 175 to 164 BC.
Wait a minute.
The Maccabean revolt was from 167 to 160.
Wait a minute. One more time for good measure, because I got it written down somewhere, but let me write it down in this class. Once, read it.
Yeah, Antiochus Epiphanes ruled from 175 to 164 BC. He had that rule all the way to 164. The Maccabean revolt started in 167 BC and lasted till 160 BC.
The first one, we said Epiphanies again?
Epiphanies, yeah. While how long he reigned? He was from 175 BC to 164.
And then the next one.
The Maccabean revolt or the Hasmonean dynasty started in the revolt was at 167 BC to 160 BC. Right? 7-year revolt.
Yeah.
Cut. Right. So let's jump down. We're gonna go to First Maccabees chapter 1, and let's jump down to verse 41.
Read out the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
So we got this Greek, right? This Greek reign to his whole kingdom. Everybody's over. That everybody should be one kingdom, right? We on?
And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathens agreed according to the commandments of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Many of the Israelites consented to his religion. Right? Many of the Israelites that was living there. Again, this is way before Paul. Paul wrote the book of Galatians, they say between the year 50 and 60 AD. Well over 100 years before.
Con.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all getting this, right? Y'all seeing this time period, right? So he said, many of the Israelites also consented to the religion and what?
Yea, many also consented to the religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Shabbat.
Right? We don't?
For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land
Right? And do what?
and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Shabbats and festival days.
So we had a lot of people actually following this,
Okay.
not keeping our law. He said, make us all one people. Make us all one people, right? So if the king is not turning himself Jew, so
And it almost seems like captivity, that's what we did.
yeah, we always followed after people. Right. But this one we actually losing our heritage. For those
Right,
who
this
always knew
this
who we were.
this one here, right?
This one, he's taking it away because he's making us
Hey,
one
shalom.
people. Now he's a Greek, right? He's a Greek. We see even all the way from Alexander the Greek, he was pushing us to keep everybody to speak Greek. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying this then would be like the beginning of Hellenism.
Exactly. It actually started hundreds of years before.
Right.
But this right here was really, this pushed it heavy in Palestine, in Israel. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we keep on.
Verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and the holy people.
Our people was being polluted, right? Pollute the sanctuary and holy people, right? We on.
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
Right? This is what our people is doing in the Holy Land. Right? We don't
Let me say something real quick.
Uh-huh.
Everything that Antiochus the Great had forbid,
Yeah,
his sons and his generations pushing it in this. So that's an important point.
Right. His father kind of helped the cause,
Right.
and used that to have us on his side.
Right.
And his son turned around and said, "Nah, we changing all that."
And you're still gonna be on our side.
Yeah. Right.
Verse 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised.
This is the law. These are laws that he's making. Leave your children uncircumcised. This is why Paul was running into those issues with their circumcision. Why they having people that was uncircumcised in not only in our land in Palestine, but even more so in Asia Minor or in surrounding areas. Right? Let's read on.
And make their souls abominable.
Made our souls abominable. This is an abomination to the Most High. We got to keep this in mind. Most High means what he says, means what he says, and
Say what he means.
Right? You know what I'm saying? If he said, circumcision is the law, we got to do that. We have to do it. But at the same time, we see where it started and why people stopped doing it. All right, let's read on.
With all manners of uncleanliness and profanation. Profanation.
Read on.
To the end that they might forget the law.
This is the whole cause. So that we could forget the law. You got your people growing up as Greeks, they're not going to keep the law. They're going to forget that law. You got there.
You said that you wanted to
Yeah, get that, and we're gonna grab Hellenism right after that, and then Greece.
Let me continue.
Con.
Verse 49. To the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
Yeah, they change all the ordinances, change our laws, and start following after Greek laws, right? We don't.
Verse 50. And whosoever would not do according to the commandments of the king, he said he should die.
These are laws. So if you get caught sacrificing for the Sabbath, you're gonna die.
Okay.
You get caught circumcising your child, you're gonna die. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
how many people, how many Israelites you really think stood their ground?
Okay.
Not much. Most people's gonna give in. When they make that law, if they made that law here right now to this day, y'all can't go link up on the Sabbath day. How many Israelites y'all think gonna be coming in here?
I mean, none.
Some's gonna come. Some gonna have to stand their ground.
Some have to come
Yeah, some have to come.
just because.
There's gonna be a lot of
Just
people.
because.
There's gonna be a lot. You hear all this Israelite stuff online right now. It's gonna stop.
Yeah.
A lot of people are gonna be scared. You feel what I'm saying? We got to keep this in mind and think logically. The same way people do now, they was doing back then. Right? But let's read on. Actually, jump down to 54 real quick.
Verse 54.
Uh-huh.
Now the 14th day of the month of Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and build idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side.
They set up an idol of Zeus. Right?
Uh-huh.
Read on.
And burnt incense at the door of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found,
They wrote in pieces the books of the Lord that they found, right? Read on.
they burnt them with fire.
They burnt them with fire. They burnt our books. Like they really was trying to keep us to not follow our laws. Stop following the Most High, right? Read on.
And wheresoever was found with any the books of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put him to death.
Put him to death. You teaching this law, put him to death. Y'all talking anything about the law, put him to death. We Greeks now.
You agree to the law.
Right. If you agree to the law, put him to death.
Right quick, remember the time my class I said was, don't be afraid to speak the truth and at the cost of death.
Right.
And
And we got to keep that in mind. This how we got to be. We're going to have to make sure that we stay firm on this truth, because there's going to be a time where this stuff is going to happen again. We're going to be tested to blood. Right? But yeah, let's keep on.
Verse 58. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities.
Right? Every month they was doing this, right? Going out there searching for us, putting our people to death. Right? Read on.
Like modern day task force.
Right.
It's a task force every month.
Mm-hmm.
59. Now the 5 and 20th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High.
Uh-huh.
At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised.
So we know, same thing. We all hear about that, the Willie Lynch letters, the Willie Lynch theory and all that. What they did was they made it so bad that the women would teach their children how to survive,
Right.
how to follow the master, right? Make the men more feminine and the women more masculine.
To this day.
To this day. And we still see how it did to this day. It's still going on. You feel what I'm saying? So they know that these children and these women is getting put to death for being circumcised. These women's going to stop circumcising their children. They're not going to teach their children law. They want their children to survive.
Right.
This same thing is going on.
In the system.
In the system, right? Let's read on.
Verse 61.
Uh-huh.
And they hang the infants about their necks.
Imagine women seeing this. Imagine, all of y'all the mothers here, right? Imagine if y'all seen this. How y'all feel? Y'all seen a woman's child getting hung. Most likely, y'all not gonna want to, circumcise your children. That's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to go through. But we got to stand firm for the Most High's laws, regardless, right? Read on.
And rifled their houses.
Rifle their houses, uh-huh.
And slew them that had circumcised them.
Uh-huh.
Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing.
Right. There's many that believe, many that knew, okay, we can't do this. And they followed the true laws of the Most High, right? But what?
Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with any meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant.
Right.
So then they died. And there was very great wrath upon Israel.
There was very great wrath on Israel. Right. This is just the start of the Hellenization period in Israel, in Palestine itself. Keep in mind, we already had brothers that were sent all over Asia Minor. We had families all over Asia Minor that was following after Greeks, right? But let's jump to 2 Maccabees chapter 6.
Second Maccabees?
Yeah, 2 Maccabees chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 1. All right.
Read out the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, and verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
Right. They was really on it, trying to compel us not to keep our laws. Right, we doing?
And not to live after the laws of Yahweh. And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympus.
So we see what idol they actually put up in our temple, known as Zeus, also known as Jupiter, right? Read on.
And that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people.
Right.
For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles.
We just read how it's abomination for the heathen to enter our temple. They wasn't even supposed to come near it. But now you got them having parties, orgies in the temple, wailing in the temple. Right? Read.
Who dallied with harlots,
had harlots, prostitutes in our temple,
and had to go with women within the circuit of the holy places.
In the holy places, they doing their thing.
Holy of holies.
Right? Read on.
And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
It was unlawful to profess yourself at all to be a Jew. You couldn't even call yourself a Jew. So if you can't call yourself a Jew, the law came out that if you do, you're going to die. What you going to call yourself? What's your king? Greek, right? This is how it all started. Y'all getting this? Y'all, everybody following, right? This is how it all started, right? So let's read this real quick. What you had, Galatia, and then we're gonna read Greek after that, and then Hellenism. We painting a picture. We painting a picture before we get into what we getting into today is Galatians chapter 3. We touched on 1 and 2 last week. Those that didn't see it, go back and get in and look at the video. But we're gonna get into 3. Reason being, 3 is one of those places where a lot of Christians like to go, for 1, to say that the law is done away with, and 2, that the heathen can be saved. And we're gonna get the full understanding of this today, right? So you call that and read that out, Baba Kushah. Tell them where you at.
This is Galatia by Joseph Jacobs and Max Schlosinger.
This is in the Jewish Encyclopedia, right?
And an inland district of Asia Minor, and after 25 BC, a province of the Roman Empire. There was a Jewish settlement there.
So we know that there's a Jewish settlement there. The next thing that we read is gonna help you understand a little better. When they say Jewish settlement, they're dealing with those that speak Hebrew. They're dealing with those that keep the law, right? That's what they're talking about, right? But read on.
Which may have been founded by Antiochus the Great,
right? Read on.
who sent many Jewish families to Asia Minor as colonists.
Which we read about in Josephus, right? Read on.
A proof of the existence of Jews in Galatia.
The proof. Peep this. This is peep what they say here. The proof that there is Jews in Galatia is what?
According to many, is given by an edict of Augustus, which, according to Josephus, I don't know, 16:6 was
the Jews, right? But you keep on.
Antiquities was published in Ancyra, the metropolis of Galatia, but the reading of the word Ancyra is doubtful. A better proof may be had from some inscription found in Galatia relating to Jews, CIG number 1429, bulletin.
Yeah,
correspondent.
You go down a little bit. This is what I really wanted right here. Go down to where it says the chief proof. The chief proof being the main proof, the main way they know, right? Everybody know what the chief is, the head.
Okay,
right?
The chief proof, however, of the existence of Jews in Galatia is the fact that St. Paul sent thither a general epistle known as the Epistle to the Galatians.
Do everybody understand what that just said? Everybody understand what I just said? Read that again.
The chief proof, however, of the existence of Jews in Galatia is the fact that St. Paul sent thither a general epistle known as the Epistle to the Galatians.
The main proof that they know that there was Jews in Galatia is because Paul wrote there.
That's a lot.
Meaning that Paul only wrote to where the Jews was at. He didn't write anywhere else. He wasn't going to nobody else.
You said this is the Jewish encyclopedia?
The Jewish encyclopedia. It says it all the way at the top. It should say it all the way at the top, right? So it says the chief proof is that Paul sent the letter there. So he only wrote to Jews, right? Keep on reading out.
There is a strong disagreement among scholars as regards the parts of Galatia where these correspondents of St. Paul lived. The older opinion was that they were to be found in the northern cities of Galatia, but recent scholars, especially Professor Ramsey, hold that they lived in cities of South or New Galatia, which are actually mentioned in the Acts of the Apostles.
So all those places that we read about Paul going into in Acts 13, Acts 14, Acts 15, those is where the Jews was at. And that's where Paul was writing to. Making sense? See, they know who Paul was writing to. He didn't send letters nowhere but where the Jews was at. Right? Now let's go to give me Greece. Greece it's in the Jewish encyclopedia also.
Hellenism?
We're gonna read Hellenism too, but give me Greece first. And you can start from the top.
This is the Jewish Encyclopedia Greece entry by Gothard Deutsch M. Kami. A country of southeastern Europe. The number of its Jews is not more than 9,000, distributed as follows. Corfu, 3,500. Zante, 175. Chalcis on the island of Euboea or Negropont.
Right? Yeah,
200.
right?
God, that's crazy.
Read on.
Valo, 1,100. Larissa, 2,500. Tricala, 1,000. Artha, 300. Athens, 300. Besides these Jews of Greece proper.
Right? Read.
Who form the subject of this article.
What you're going to see is that whenever they say Jews, they're dealing with those that kept the law. They're dealing with those that spoke Hebrew, right? That's who they're talking about. He said, besides these Jews of Greece proper, right, read?
Besides these Jews of Greece proper, who form the subject of this article, there is also a Jewish population of about 4,000 in Janina and Prevasa in Epirus. These people are really Greeks.
They had knew about a 4,000 people, 4,000 Jews that was Greeks. They're really Greeks. What does that mean? They wasn't keeping the law. They was Hellenized, fully Hellenized. The same way people come over here, they take that test and automatically they Chinese and all that. Automatically now they American. I'm an American citizen. That's the same way. But these people right here, right? Go back and read that again.
It says, these people are really Greeks.
These people are really Greeks. They know of 4,000.
For
You
they,
know we don't give in the census.
Con,
We don't give that. They know of a few. They don't know about all. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, so these people are really Greeks, read.
for they have lived in the country since a very remote period and speak only the Greek language.
And speak only the Greek language. Right? Read.
The term Greek Jews might also be made to include the Jews of the island of Crete and those of Chios of Smyrna.
Right. So that's good on that. So basically, whenever you see Jew, it's dealing with those that kept the law and those that spoke Hebrew. Those that only spoke Greek and didn't keep the law was not called Jews. They was actually called Greek. And we see this all through the scriptures. Right? This in history and in scriptures. Grab me also Hellenism. The Hellenism up there. We're going to read that real quick for them. It's actually 2 pages on Hellenism. We're not going to read the whole thing. But yeah, grab that. We're going to start from the top real quick.
Hellenism, to speak Greek or to make Greek, by Carl Siegfried and Richard Gothiel.
Right.
Word used to express the assimilation, especially by the Jews, of Greek speech, manners, and culture from the 4th century BC through the first centuries of the Common Era.
Right. We had a lot of our people becoming Greeks, being Hellenized, right? Read on.
Post-exilic Judaism was largely recruited from those returned exiles who regarded it as their chief task to preserve their religion uncontaminated,
right?
A task that required the strict separation of the congregation, both from all foreign peoples and from the Jewish inhabitants of Palestine who did not strictly observe the law.
Right. We had people that was in Palestine that did not strictly observe the law. And when we look into history, this is why things like this, when we was coming out of captivity, you had those that try to keep the law and the other ones that wanted to follow after the heathen. This is the reason why you had a lot of people that of the circumcision had a very strong distaste for those of the uncircumcision. It's making sense so far? Let's read on.
This separation was especially difficult to maintain when the victorious campaign of Alexander the Great had linked the East to the West.
Right, read on.
The victory was not simply a political one. Its spiritual influence was much greater. The Greek language became a common language for Nearer Asia.
Right. And when we see what it said earlier, Hellenism was started off with the language, right? Language and culture. Now this Nearer Asia, all this Asia Minor, everywhere Paul went to became Greek, right? Let's read on.
I'll start back from that sentence. It says the Greek language became a common language for Nearer Asia. And with the language went Greek culture, Greek art, and Greek thought.
And Greek thought, a whole different thought, which we was talking about last week, right? You had Stoicism and Epicureanism that was pushed, we see going all through Palestine, all through the areas that Paul was going, right? Let's read on.
The influence thus exerted did not entirely drive out the local languages or the local civilization.
Right.
The Hellenic spirit was instead profoundly modified by contact with the Orient, and out of the mingling of the two, there arose a pseudo-Greek culture, which was often different in spirit from the true culture of Hellas.
Right. So yeah, jump down. We're gonna get. It's actually the next page. It's the next page. We're not going to read the rest of that. We're going to go to where it says a glance at the classes of Greek.
I see it.
You see it?
It says, a glance at the classes of Greek words which found their way into the Hebrew and the Jewish Aramaic of the period, as compiled by I. Lau and S. Krauss Lownwater, shows this with great clearness. The Hellenists were not confined to the aristocratic class.
Actually, I should have had you start up. My fault. Start at where it says a range of Hellenic influence.
The range of Hellenic influence. Except in Egypt, Hellenic influence was nowhere stronger than on the eastern shore of the Mediterranean.
Nowhere stronger. Keep that in mind. Nowhere stronger than the eastern shore of the Mediterranean. What's on the eastern shore of the Mediterranean? Everybody know that map? Actually, you know what? I got a map up here real quick. You can pull that map up for me. The eastern shores, you see Ephesus over there. Y'all see Galatia, Lycia, Cilicia, Syria, Israel. Everywhere he was at. Hellenism was.
And the map shows Paul's journeys.
Paul, that's showing his journey right there on the eastern shore.
It says the red is his first journey, the blue is his second, and the pink is his third.
Got Thrace up there going all the way up to Greece, right? Hellenism was strongest in these places. That's why he's talking about Jews and Greeks, which we're gonna get into, right? But go back to that. I know it's getting late. We're gonna speed it up a little bit. I know y'all hate when y'all hear that. I see your face. But we're gonna get it. We're gonna get all the information in. We're gonna get the information in. Y'all got all day. Right? We gotta hit the streets. Yeah. But yeah, keep on reading that. You was right there.
It says, I'll start again from the top. The range of Hellenic influence. Except in Egypt, Hellenic influence was nowhere stronger than on the eastern shore of the Mediterranean.
So he said, except in Egypt, it was nowhere stronger than the eastern shores of the Mediterranean. Everywhere Paul was going, right? Read on.
Greek cities arose there in continuation or in place of the older Semitic foundations and gradually changed the aspect of the country. Such cities as Raphia.
Now these are cities in Palestine, in Israel, that they're naming right here.
Gaza.
Ashkelon, all in Israel. Read on.
Azotus, Jabni, Jaffa,
right where Peter was when he got the message. Right, read on.
Caesarea,
where Cornelius was from. Him and his family, right? Read.
Dor, and Ptolemais.
Right, read on.
It was especially in eastern Palestine that Hellenism took a firm hold.
A firm hold. This is why you see when they going in there and they talking about the Greeks was beefing with the Jews, right, in Palestine. Right, read on.
And the cities of the Decapolis, which seems also to have included Damascus, were the centers of Greek influence.
Right? We're gonna jump down to we're gonna do that next paragraph, but we're gonna start at just read at a glance.
That's crazy.
Again.
This stuff is
it's a lot. It's to go into these, go deep. We, like I said, we trying to jump through because there's a lot to read. But read these things, go into them. All them churches, they got the churches too. All the churches. Ephesus is a good one to read. We're not gonna go into that today. You feel what I'm saying? But go into these, right? Let's read on. A glance. Go to a glance.
A glance at the classes of Greek words which found their way into the Hebrew and the Jewish Aramaic of the period, as compiled by I. Lowe in S. Krauss Lane Water, shows this with great clearness. The Hellenists were not confined to the aristocratic class,
So it wasn't only the leaders. It wasn't the high ups, right? It was all through Israel, from the top to the bottom. Read.
but were found in all strata of Jewish society. Though the aristocrats naturally profited more from the goodwill of Hellenistic rulers than did other classes.
Right.
The Jews thus became sharers in a world culture, if not in a world empire. It was a denationalizing influence.
Down our nation, basically, right? Read on.
Influence from the strictly Jewish point of view. This was the principal reason for the dislike which many Jewish teachers felt for things Hellenic.
This is why there was a real big dislike for the Jewish teachers for everything Hellenic. This is why there was a contention between the Jews and the Greeks that we read about. Everything's making sense so far, right? We're going to get into these scriptures real soon. Now grab me one more. We painting a picture before we even get into scriptures, right? Let's grab me right there, Paul and the Apostle of the Heart Set Free, just so that they could see that. See, that's the book that comes out of, right? Now grab there's the page 44 on there. It should say, is it? Nah, not that one. Next, might be next to it. No, it's before. "44. 44, and go down to where it says, what does it say? Hebrew or the Hebrews, I believe it say. Give me a quick second, let me find it.
Hebrew born of Hebrews, the second
Yeah,
place.
in the second place, yeah.
It says,
actually, you could read from there in the second place.
in the second place, he describes himself as a Hebrew born of Hebrews. In Paul's writings, as certainly in Luke's, Hebrew is probably a more specialized term than Israelite or Jew.
Right.
On another occasion, in a reference to visitors to Corinth who tried to undermine his position in the eyes of his converts there, he says, "Are they Hebrews? So am I." And the context suggests that Hebrews has a more restricted sense than Israelites or descendants of Abraham.
Right. So we see and they understand that there was a lot of Israelites that was coming there and trying to undermine what Paul was doing. Him teaching of Yahweh Shah for one, and trying to bring everybody back unto the salvation from the law itself. Right. This is what we were seeing in the scriptures, which we're going to get into, right? But keep on reading out.
In Acts chapter 6, verse 1, Hebrews is used in contradistinction to Hellenists.
Hebrews is used in contradiction to the Hellenists, right? Hellenists would be translated to Greek, right? Read on.
Although
Gentile, right? But read on.
Although both Hebrews and Hellenists were Jews.
Both what?
Both Hebrews and Hellenists were Jews.
Although both of them was Jews, right? But what?
In this instance, Jewish disciples of Hamashiach, members of the primitive Jerusalem church. The distinction was probably linguistic and cultural.
They didn't speak Hebrew, they spoke Greek, right?
Oh.
And cultural. You had that growing up in the Greek way of life. And that's why they was called Greeks, even though they was natural born Jews. Making sense. Picture fully painted. Calm. All right. So now, before we even get into Paul's letters, I like to read a couple of things. Let's get Second Peter chapter 3. Second Peter chapter 3. We're going to start at verse 15. So now we see Jews being called Greeks, Jews being called Gentiles. We're seeing Jews in these areas. We're seeing them being Hellenized, right? So we're going to get 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. Now we're going to try to get an understanding of what Paul was saying when he was talking.
Read out 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. And account that the long suffering of our Hamashiach is salvation. even as our beloved brother Paul.
Well, we want to keep in mind, right? Peter walked with Yahushua. Peter knew Yahushua. That's the rock right there. Paul
Cut.
never met Yahushua. Peter knew Yahushua and he knew Paul. You feel what I'm saying? So what does Peter say about Paul, right? Just read on.
Also, according to the wisdom given unto him, hath
He
been
let it
written
be
unto you.
known that he had a lot of wisdom, right? Read on.
Verse 16. As also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood.
Keep in mind, all the way back then, we got what's called lost in translation. What's up?
Because if you look at some of the commentaries,
Mhm.
they try to pit Peter and Paul against each other,
Right.
and say that they were enemies.
Right.
But how can you be enemies when you're both teaching about
The same thing, right.
or teaching about the good news?
Yeah. Yeah, they was definitely not enemies.
People will do. They'll try to say, "Oh, they were enemies."
Yeah.
Because they was always saying how. Because and that's where the Christians get it that everybody is supposed to be saved. Because Paul went to the heathen. No, he didn't.
Nah,
He went to
which we gonna
only
get.
our people.
Right, which we
That's
gonna
why he
get.
said there is no Jew or Greek.
Here, let's get
But that real quick, that's why Yahushua said, if they not against us, then they for us.
Right.
All right.
Yeah,
ready?
definitely gotta keep that in mind. But yeah,
Verse 17. Ye therefore, beloved.
actually read 16 again.
Verse 16. As also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood.
So keep in mind, all the way back then, again, we have something called lost in translation, right? All the way back then, and Paul spoke perfect Greek. He spoke perfect Hebrew. People had a hard time understanding him then. Then you translate it into English. Imagine how they're gonna look at it now. He letting it be known, like, yo, they not understanding what he's saying. They're not understanding him, right? Read on.
Which they that are unlearned.
They that are unlearned in what? Let's keep on reading.
And unstable rest. As they do also the other scriptures.
What's the other scriptures? The law, the prophets, because the New Testament didn't even exist at this time. So they're wrestling with Paul's letters against the law and the prophets. He said they're unlearned. Once you get the understanding of what was going on, because Paul cannot be saying anything other than what the Lord was saying, anything other than what the prophets were saying. If he was, you got to throw him out. He going against the word of the Most High. But Paul let it be known that he wasn't teaching that. Right? Let's keep on reading though.
Unto their own destruction.
People is doing that to their own destruction. If you feel Paul said the law is done away with and you want to follow that, you're doing that to your own destruction. You're going to suffer for that. Right? Let's read on.
Ye therefore, beloved, seeing ye know these things before.
You knew these things before. You already knew. You already came up in the law. You already know what it is. Right? Read.
Beware lest ye also, being led away with the error of the wicked, fall from your own steadfastness.
We want to make sure we following the law. We want to make sure we following what the Most High say. We want to make sure what we reading, that it all has to coincide with what the scriptures told us before, right? So let's see what Paul says. We want to get Paul's own words, right? Let's get Acts. We're going to get Acts chapter 26. Acts chapter 26 and verse 22. And this is Paul speaking here.
Read out the book of Acts, chapter 26, verse 22. Having therefore obtained help of the Most High, I continue unto this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come.
He said, I ain't say nothing different than what the prophets and Moses did say should come. So if there's anywhere where it's going to say the laws is done away with, you got to find that in the law and the prophets. If not, Either Paul is lying or your understanding of what he said is off. And if he's lying, you gotta throw him out all the way anyways. You feel what I'm saying? Right? Let's grab Acts chapter 24. Acts chapter 24, and we're gonna read verse 14. Actually, we're gonna start at verse 10 down to 14.
Read the book of Acts, chapter 24 and verse 10. Then Paul, after that the governor had beckoned unto him to speak, answered, For as much as I know that thou hast been of many years a judge unto this nation, I do the more cheerfully answer for myself, because that thou mayest understand that there are yet but 12 days since I went up to Jerusalem for to worship,
Right.
and they neither found me in the temple disputing with any man, neither raising up the people, neither in the synagogues, nor in the city. Neither can they prove the things whereof they now accuse me.
And what was Paul being accused of?
Heresy.
Everybody know? Heresy. What specific? Saying sacrifice is done away with, saying the laws is done away with, saying not to circumcise their children. Right? All these things was what he was on trial for. He's saying they can't prove that. What does that sound like? If I'm saying, yo, they can't prove that, I'm saying I ain't do it. Right. Right? Let's read on.
Verse 14. But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they called heresy, so worship I the power of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets.
He said he believes everything. He's not teaching against none of that. You feel what I'm saying? So understanding this and understanding what Paul, again, y'all got to keep this in mind. Is he lying to save his life? Because if he is, don't even read his books. Leave those. Throw that away. It's either he's lying or people have a misunderstanding of what he's saying. You feel what I'm saying? So now we're going to get into Galatians and get a full understanding of that. So we're going to go to Galatians chapter 3. Galatians chapter 3. We touched on 1 and 2. Again, we touched on 1 and 2 last week. For those that missed it, y'all could go online and check it out. You know what I mean? But basically what's going on is this is a response to what happened in Jerusalem at the Council of Jerusalem. You read about the Council of Jerusalem in Acts 15, right? What happened was there was people that crept into the churches and told people that they would not be saved unless they were circumcised at the manner of Moses. Manner of Moses being what? The 8th day. So if you wasn't circumcised the 8th day, you're not going to be saved. This is what they're hearing. So if that's the case, why am I doing this? You feel what I'm saying? Why would I be here serving your God if I can't be saved? You feel what I'm saying? And then the other doctrine, okay, they got to get circumcised basically right away. They're circumcised right now. Command them to do everything and they was teaching them also basically that Christ didn't profit nothing. You feel what I'm saying? So let's get in here and see what this means, right? So we're going to call it and read it.
Okay, what you need?
Galatians chapter 3. We're going to start at the top.
Reading out of the book of Galatians chapter 3 and verse 1. O foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you that ye should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Hamashiach Yahushua has been evidently set forth, crucified among you.
Right, crucified among you.
Let me read that again. O foolish Galatians, who hath bewitched you, that ye should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Hamashiach Yahushua has been evidently set forth, circumcised among you.
Crucified.
I said it again. Let's do that one more time. Oh, foolish Galatians, who had bewitched you, that ye should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Hamashiach Yahushua has been evidently set forth, crucified among you.
Right, crucified among you, Khan, right? So he asking them, who has bewitched you? Because we see that this doctrine had crept up in the church and it messed a lot of people up. Messed a lot of people up. And there was a lot of people that was actually starting to get circumcised, putting all their faith in the law and not in Christ at all. You feel what I'm saying? This is what was going on in the churches, right? So he said, who have bewitched you? Like, yo, we really was here. Paul was there for 14 years teaching the word. 14 years teaching the word. But here they seeing miracles and everything. And all of a sudden now y'all gonna put all your faith in the circumcision and not in your Yahushua. You feel what I'm saying? This is what he was dealing with there, right? Let's keep on.
Verse 2. This only would I learn of you. Receive ye the Spirit by the works of the law, or by hearing of faith?
Have you received the Spirit by the works of the law or hearing the faith? This is a question to y'all. How did we come into this truth? By keeping the law, or we heard it? We heard it and then we came into the law, right? This is what he's pushing, right? Let's read on.
Verse 3. Are you so foolish? Having begun in the Spirit, are ye now made perfect by the flesh?
Yeah, how you going to start in the Spirit and now you're perfect by the flesh? Now you want to be like the Jews that's in Palestine that don't even believe in Yahushua, right? Y'all perfect by the flesh. Now, how you getting circumcised as a grown man and thinking you perfect in the flesh? You know what I'm saying? Let's get real quick. Romans chapter 3, verse 20. Romans chapter 3, verse 20.
Reading out the book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 20. Therefore, by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified in his sight.
And by the deeds of the Lord shall no flesh be justified in the Most High sight. By the deeds of the Lord would nobody be justified, right? But let's keep on reading.
For by the law is the knowledge of sin.
For the law is the knowledge of sin. So we understand what sin is by the law, right?
Right.
But don't take this the wrong way, right? Jump down to verse 31.
Verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith?
Do we then make void the law through faith? Do we stop keeping the law through faith?
Most High forbid.
God forbid.
Yea, we establish the law.
We establish the law. Are you able to pull up the blue letter on here? Pull that up. Pull up what establish means. Romans chapter 3, verse 31. Let's see what Paul is actually saying right here. All right. We got to understand that we have to have the faith in Yahushua. This was a gift to us by the Most High. There's nothing that we actually did to deserve this gift. Right. We want to keep that in mind. And this is the message that Paul is teaching. We did nothing to deserve this gift.
That's right.
What's up?
Said, what we deserve, we don't get. And what we don't deserve, we get.
We all deserve death. I'm gonna keep it funky. Romans 3, 31. We all deserve death. I'm gonna keep it funky. We don't deserve nothing.
But could I read this real quick while you find that? If you don't mind. This is one of my favorites to keep. You got to keep in mind because it's going right with what he said. You know, my favorite, where we at? Titus 3 and 3. Titus 3 and 3 says, for we ourselves also were sometimes foolish, disobedient, deceived, serving diverse lusts and pleasures, living in malice and envy, hateful and hating one another. But after that, the kindness of the Most High, the kindness and love of the Most High, our Savior, towards man appeared, not by works of righteousness, which we have done, but according to his mercy, he saved us by the washing of regeneration and renewing of the Holy Spirit. That's it.
Yahushua saved us. Most High sent Yahushua to die for us, to cleanse us of all our wickedness.
That's right.
Right? Nothing that we did to deserve that at all. That was a gift freely given. But we can't spit in his face at the same time. he tells us to do something, we got to do it. What did he mean when he said establish the law? Let's read that. That word is histemi, right? Histemi. What does it mean?
So like it says, histemi, a verb, a prolonged form of the same meaning of stale. So like
Yeah, you go down to
it says to cause or to make stand, to place, to put, to set, to bid, to stand by.
to bid, to stand by. We got to stand by that law.
And
Right.
the example it
Make it
uses
stand.
in the presence of others.
Uh-huh.
So you have to stand by the law in the
You
presence.
got to stand on it. Right.
To
Read.
place, to make firm, to fix,
To make
establish.
firm, to fix. It's not going nowhere. Right. Read.
To cause a person or thing to keep his or its place. To stand, to be intact, to be kept intact. To escape in safety, to establish a thing, cause to stand, to set or place in a balance.
To uphold and sustain authority.
To
Y'all see
uphold,
this? There's not one part of that word that means get rid of the law. There's not one part of that word that says we don't keep the law.
Can you just go back up and read that first one?
The first one says to cause or make to stand, to place, put A. It says in the presence of others, in the midst, before judges, before members of the Sanhedrin.
All the way on it. We stand on this word. We stand on this law. So Paul is the same one who wrote Galatians, same one that wrote Romans. So is he confused? Has he got two different messages? You know what I'm saying? What kind of person is these people following? Right? Nah, it's all the same message. It's all the same message, right? So let's get So yeah, read that again, Baba Kashah, Romans chapter 3, verse 31.
Read now the book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? Most High forbid. Yea, we establish the law.
We understand that we are not saved by the law, but we have to keep that law.
That's right.
You cannot be a follower of Christ and a sinner at the same time. Everybody know what sin is.
Transgression,
right? Transgression of the law. It's not even, it's not even a debate. Let's get Galatians chapter 2, right? The chapter right before we was at, right? Galatians chapter 2, and we're gonna read verse 16.
Verse 16?
Okay.
Read out the book of Galatians chapter 2 and verse 16. Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law.
Not justified by the works of the law, right? But what?
But by the faith of Hamashiach Yahushua.
We're justified by the faith of Yahushua. Reason being, right? When you look at the law, the works of the law, we have sacrifice in the works of the law, right? Sacrifice don't cover everything. What's the sacrifice for idolatry?
Death.
Yeah, death. That's right. Your blood is that sacrifice.
That's right.
Your death is that sacrifice. Adultery.
Death.
Breaking the Sabbath, which people got to keep this in mind because a lot of people be breaking the Sabbath, playing around with the Sabbath. We got to take the Sabbath very seriously. According to the law, you get death. You feel what I'm saying? You get death for these things. He talking to Galatia. He talking to people in Galatia. How many people you think was idolaters? Following the ways of the Greeks. So they need Yahushua. They can't be made perfect off the flesh. You can't. The law is not going to save you. You need Yahushua. And if you don't have that faith in Yahushua, you don't have that sacrifice to bring you back to the Most High. That's what he's getting at, right? He said what? Let's read that again.
Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right.
Even we have believed in Hamashiach Yahushua that we might be justified by the faith of Hamashiach.
Right.
And not by the works of the law.
So we're justified by the faith of Yahushua, not the works of the law, but what?
For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified.
Right.
But if while we seek to be justified by Hamashiach,
Uh-huh.
we ourselves are also found sinners.
But while we seek to be justified, we are found sinners. We are not keeping the law. What happens?
Is therefore Hamashiach the minister of sin?
We're making Yahweh Shah like he's teaching sin.
Most High forbid.
Not at all. We can't be found sinners and trying to be justified by Yahweh Shah. We can't do it. Faith and works go hand in hand.
That's right.
Even though he says no man can be justified by the law, y'all got to keep in mind. Let's get Romans real quick. Romans, I want Romans chapter 2 verse 13. Again, Paul wrote both of these. Right? Romans 2:13. What do you say?
Read out the book of Romans, chapter 2 and verse 13. For not the hearers of the law are just before the Most High, but the doers of the law shall be justified.
If you trying to be justified by Yahweh Shah and you continue to break the law, you will not be justified. You have to be a doer of the law to be justified. Right? Let's get James. It's making sense. Trying not to confuse anybody, right? James chapter 2. James chapter 2, verse 22. Right?
You said James?
Yeah, James chapter 2, verse 22. We gotta have both. Right? Actually, start at let's start at we're gonna start earlier. Let's start at 18.
Read out the book of James, chapter 2, verse 18. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
We show our faith by our works. You gonna say something?
You should probably start a little bit.
At 17? I mean at 16? Yeah,
Read out the book of James, chapter 2, verse 16. And one of you say unto them, 15? Verse 15. If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doeth it profit?
Right. So you're just saying something. Oh, depart and be filled. Be warm, be filled. And you're not helping them. You're not doing the work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting ready to say.
Exactly.
Sound like Pastor Ovaltine.
Right. Give him your tithes.
Yeah, right.
Give him your tithes while you waiting for the bus and he driving a Bentley.
You need help. Go. You need help with your rent. Go with God.
Go with God.
Go with God.
Remember the devil taught us how to subtract, take away?
Yeah.
Come.
Let's keep on though. What happened? Oh, let's keep on reading.
I went all the way back. I went all the way and started with 15. He said to go back to 15.
Right.
It was 18. Let's do this again. Verse 15. If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doeth it profit?
All right, read on. Even
so, faith, if it has not works, is dead, being alone.
Faith without works is dead, being alone. You got to have the two. Got to have the faith. You got to keep the law. You got to do the work. Right, read on.
Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
These Christians will tell you they have faith. They have faith and don't do not one thing the Most High told them to do. We show our faith by our works. We understand that Yahweh Shah died for us to bring us closer to the Most High, but we have to be keeping those laws. That's how we show our love. Love in the Hebrew term, ahab, is an action. It's not a feeling.
It's a verb.
It's not a, we got to understand too, when we look at the Hebrew language, right? The Hebrew language is a concrete language. When you look at Greek and English, it's more abstract. They talk about feelings and all that. Where Hebrew, you deal with the five senses. You
Right.
feel what I'm saying? What you see, what you taste, what you smell. You feel what I'm saying? It's concrete. Love is in action. We got
That's
to
right.
show that love. I can't tell a woman I love her and I'm smacking her every day. You feel what I'm saying? She not with how you love me. You feel what I'm saying? We got to show that love, right? But let's read on.
Let me read 19. Yeah. Verse 19. Thou believest there is one power, right?
Uh-huh.
Thou doest well.
Uh-huh.
The devils also believe and tremble.
And they'll tell you faith alone, right? Faith alone, grace alone. Devils believe and also tremble. Right? Read on.
But wilt thou know,
Uh-huh.
O vain man, that faith without works is dead?
Faith without works is dead, right? Keep on.
Was not Abraham our father justified by works?
Now we already know, and Paul is actually going to go into this more so while we read in Galatians 3, talking about how Abraham, our father, was justified by faith. He had faith in the Most High. He had so much faith that he listened when the Most High told him to do something. He didn't ignore it. You can't ignore the Most High and say
That's
you
right.
have faith. He said he was justified by the works, right? When he did what?
When he had offered Isaac, his son, upon the altar.
And he did that because he had faith in the Most High, that the Most High was going to do what he said he was going to do. Come, right? Read on.
Seest thou how faith wrought his works, and by works was faith made perfect?
Faith is wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect. Them two go hand in hand. We got to have that. We got to have that, right? Paul was never teaching against the law, right? So let's go back to Galatians. Galatians, and you can read read that verse 3. Read verse 3 again.
Galatians. Should have kept it.
Galatians chapter 3, verse 3.
We have the book of Galatians, chapter 3, and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Are ye so foolish, having begun in the spirit? Or are ye now made perfect by the flesh?
They started in the spirit. They learned this word. They heard it. They took heed. The spirit fell upon them, and they started keeping the law. Now, how you going to just automatically be perfect by the flesh, right? Read on.
Have you suffered so many things in vain?
Did y'all go through what y'all went? Because everybody, when they come into this truth, y'all gonna go through some hell. Y'all gonna go through all type of trials. Did y'all do that for nothing? You feel what I'm saying? Did we do that for vain? Right? Read.
If it be yet in vain, he therefore that ministereth to you the Spirit and worketh miracles among you, doeth he it by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith?
Right. Those that was ministering to them, was they ministering in spirit? Right? The miracles, was the miracles done by the works of the law or by the hearing of the faith? By the hearing of the faith. They was healing people that didn't know. They wound up healing them, and they came into the truth after that. Right? Let's get Acts chapter 14. We're gonna start at verse 1. What you gonna say, y'all? You say you had a precept?
Yeah.
What you had?
We got the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 17. So then faith cometh by hearing,
Mm-hmm.
and hearing the word of the Most High omnipotent power.
Right. That's official. That's good. Right? Faith come by hearing, right?
Romans 10, 17.
And you got it out?
What you got? 14.
Acts
what?
chapter 14
And
and verse 1. We're gonna start at the top.
read out the book of Acts, chapter 14, in verse 1.
Real quick, just keep pulling on. Give me that the picture again of the map. The picture of the map. So likely, let me try to get this to stay on somewhere. Y'all can hear me good, Con? Yeah. Con. All right, so yeah. What's up?
Acts 14 is going with verse 5.
Con. We're gonna see what was going on in Galatia at the time, right? So everybody could see this map, right? Acts 14, and we're gonna start at verse 1.
Read out the book of Acts, chapter 14, and verse 1. And it came to pass in Iconium that they went both together into the synagogue.
So you see Iconium, right? Where Iconium's at? It's small up here. Everybody see where that's at? Where's that at?
It's in Galatia.
Galatia, right? Iconium, right? Read on.
That they went both together into the synagogue of the Jews.
Uh-huh.
And so spake that a great multitude, both of Jews, also of the Greeks, believed.
Also of the Greeks believe. We already went through who was the Greeks, right? We already went through that. These Greeks that was over here. It was Israelites that was, coming back to their ways, right? But read on.
Verse 2. But the unbelieving Jews stirred up the Gentiles and made their minds evil affected against the brethren.
Right. You see how it says they stirred up the unbelieving Jews, the ones that didn't believe in Yahweh Shah, stirred up the Gentiles and made their minds evil affected against the brethren. Showing these are the same people. Showing us the same people. You know what I'm saying? Let's read on.
Verse 3. Long time, therefore, abode they speaking boldly in Hamashiach, which gave testimony unto the word of his grace.
Right.
And granted signs and wonders to be done by their hands.
Right. So they speaking boldly and bringing out Yahweh Shah out there boldly and doing signs and wonders while they speaking. Right. Read on.
But the multitude of the city was divided. And part held with the Jews and part with the apostles. And when there was an assault made both of the Gentiles and also of the Jews with their rulers to use them despitefully and to stone them.
Right.
They were aware of it and fled unto Lystra.
Unto Lystra. Everybody see Lystra up there, right? See where he at? Lystra's in Galatia, right there, a little bit under Iconium. Going down, right? Read on.
And Derbe, cities of Lycaonia.
And Derbe, right there, right next to Lystra, right? Read on.
And unto the region that lieth around about.
So when you read this, and Acts is very good to read. It gives you a better understanding of where Paul was at when he was dealing with these and what he was going through when he was writing these letters to these churches, right? Read on.
And there they preached the gospel.
And there they preached the gospel, right? In Galatia, read on.
And there sat a certain man at Lystra, impotent in his feet, being a cripple from his mother's womb.
Being a cripple from his mother's womb, right? Read.
Who had never walked.
Never walked. Never, ever walked, right? Read.
The same heard Paul speak, who steadfastly beholding him and perceiving that he had faith to be healed.
Had faith to be healed. This is what we getting at. This is why we came here.
So he was paying attention.
He was paying attention. He was listening. He's sitting there listening, hearing them, and Paul seeing how he's into it. He like, yeah, this man got that faith. He got enough faith to be healed. It wasn't from the works of the law. He had that faith to be healed. Right? Read.
Said with a loud voice, stand upright on thy feet. And he leapt and walked.
And he leapt up and walked. Right? Faith and works together. We started off with the faith. We start off with the faith, then come into the works. You can't be made perfect by the works of the law. You look confused. What happened? Hand in hand, yes. Exactly. It starts off with the spirit, with the faith. First you hear. Read that what you had again. Romans 10. Romans 10, 17.
Verse 17.
So then, faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High omnipotent power.
Yeah, it starts off with hearing this word. You build that faith. Then you come into the law. Not one of us in here started in here coming into this truth, keeping the law.
Good.
It took people a while, some of them to even come to Sabbath service after they heard this law. It takes people a while to stop eating pork because that pork be calling them. You know what I'm saying? It takes people a while to start coming to Passover, so on and so forth. You feel what I'm saying? We start off with the faith. The problem what was going on here was that people that started off with the faith started putting all their faith in the law and not Yahweh Shah. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, faith is a conditioning process.
Right.
Then you accept that this is the right thing through the law that the Most High wants you to do or commands of you.
Right. That's a fact.
I want one right quick before you start.
What's
That's
up?
the main thing today. Reading out of Galatians chapter 2, verse 20. I am crucified with a Mashiach.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, I live.
Mm-hmm.
Yet not I, but a Mashiach liveth in me.
Right.
Now the life which I live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son, Yahweh Shai, of the Most High Omnipotent Power, Father Yahweh, who loved me and gave himself for me.
Right.
Good.
So we gotta put that faith in Yahweh Shah. We gotta crucify that old man and be better and new and come into this walk, right? But it all starts with the faith. It all starts with the faith, right? So let's get let's go back to Galatians chapter 3 and read 5 again.
Reading out the book of Galatians, chapter 3, and verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
He therefore that ministereth to you the Spirit and worketh miracles among you, doeth he it by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith?
Do we do it? Did it start with the works of the law or by the hearing of the faith? Right? Read on.
Verse 6. Even as Abraham believed the Most High, and it was accounted to him for righteousness.
Right. And what he's quoting right now is Genesis chapter 15.
Right.
No, actually, we were trying to figure out where he ended on Acts 14:1.
14:1, he ended at verse 9. Verse 9. Right. So Genesis.
Go ahead.
You gotta say something?
No.
So yeah, what he quoting right there is Genesis chapter 15, right? Where he says it was counted for him as righteous, right? Let's read on. Genesis chapter 15 was like 1-6. Actually, we could read that real quick.
Let me get it.
Yeah, let's grab that.
You said 15, right?
Come.
Yeah, that's after the dream, right?
Come.
All right. 15, 6. Read out the book of Genesis, chapter 15 and verse 6.
We're gonna start at verse 1.
Verse 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Read out the book of Genesis, chapter 15 in verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
After these things, the word of the Most High came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward.
Uh-huh.
And Abram said unto the Most High Power, What wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless?
Mm-hmm.
And the steward of my house is Eleazar of Damascus.
Which is a heathen, right? Read on.
And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir.
Uh-huh.
And behold, the word of the Most High came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir.
This shall not be thine heir. These heathens will not be your heirs, right? Read on.
But he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir.
We want to keep all this in mind as we keep on reading, because Abraham's going to come up a lot in this chapter, right? Read on.
And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now towards heaven, and tell the stars if thou be able to number them.
Uh-huh.
And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be.
This seed is coming out of his loins. This is literal bloodline heirs. It's not just anybody, not no spiritual seed. This is the bloodline heirs, the 12 tribes of Israel. What's up?
Like he's saying it's literal and like not no heathen gonna be his heir.
Yeah, no heathen will
All
be
your
here.
seeds is
Right.
But another
Exactly.
thing that you read, he didn't say seeds.
Mhm.
He said seed.
Your seed.
So that's
right.
one particular
bloodline.
bloodline.
Right. That's a fact.
Underline C, class. No, just kidding.
Right? Let's read verse 6 also.
Verse 6. And he believed in the Most High,
Uh-huh.
and he counted it to him for righteousness.
He believed. He believed what the Most High told him. And because Abraham believed what the Most High told him, he did everything the Most High told him to do. Right? Let's get Genesis chapter 26. Genesis chapter 26, verse 5.
We got the book of Genesis, chapter 26, and verse 5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws.
Abraham listened. See how it starts with the faith. This is the whole message in this whole chapter. It starts with the faith, then comes to the laws. Khan? What's up, Bob?
Can you call it again, please?
That's
Genesis chapter 26 and verse 5.
You trying to go somewhere else? What you got?
Now, book of 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 3. And keep the charge of the Lord Most High, thy omnipotent power, and walk in his ways, and keep his statutes, and his commandments, and his judgments, and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
Right. We got to make sure we continue to keep that law. Right? So let's get... we're going to go back to Galatians, right?
Really?
Galatians, and we have verse 5. Verse 7. Verse 7.
Read the book of Galatians, chapter 3 and verse 7. Know ye therefore that they which are of faith, the same are the children of Abraham.
And we already seen who he was dealing, who the Most High chose. Literal seed, not the heathen born in his house, not the heathen that worked for him. That's that he circumcised in his house, but his literal seed, right? Read on.
And the scripture, foreseeing that the Most High would justify the heathen through faith.
Yeah, justify the heathen through faith. Now, people get confused. I seen you just looked up, right? Heathen through faith, right? Let's pull this up real quick. Let's pull this up. Yeah, blue letter. We're gonna get the word for heathen. This word throws a lot of people off. Right. It's talking about Israel. When we look at a lot of times, and this is why, give me Baba Shah, give me the book of Chaalaq. I want the prologue where it talk about the Hebrew language.
All right.
Are you not a heathen if you're not keeping the law?
Yeah, but that's just how it was translated. We're gonna see the word that's actually used and how other places it was used. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna get the prologue of Chaalaq. Right?
Okay, reading out the book of Chaalaq or Ecclesiasticus. The prologue.
Right.
For the same things uttered in Hebrew.
Start up
Which
where
one?
it says, wherefore let us entreat you.
Okay. That's it. Oh, I guess I gotta highlight that. Wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words,
right,
which we have labored to interpret.
Right.
For the same things uttered in Hebrew,
same thing uttered in Hebrew, right,
and translated into another tongue, have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself,
right,
and the prophets,
and
the rest of the books, have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. For in the 8th and 13th year coming,
that's good.
That's
on
it.
That.
That's all you want.
Yeah, that's good on that. So we see that very powerfully with the Hebrew that works for the Greek also. When you translating from the Greek to the English, it's not going to be the same. They don't
Don't
carry
have the
that
same
same
power.
weight. Because in all honesty, there's 2 Greek words that you use that you see is translated, huh? We're gonna pull up that exact. We're gonna pull up heathen, right? We're gonna pull up heathen. There's 2 Greek words that's translated as heathen. Helen, which is Greek. Most of the time it's translated as Greek. The other one, the main one that's used is ethnos. Ethnos, right? We're gonna see that ethnos is actually used for Israelites also. It only means nation. That's what it means, really. Right? But let's get that. Pull that up.
This is ethnos, Strong's G 1484. Ethnos.
Mm-hmm.
It's a noun and its meaning or usage, outline of biblical usage, a multitude, whether of men or of beasts.
Well, go back up. Read where it says translate Strong's the following manner. How where
Translate G 1484 in the following manner. Gentiles 93 times. Nation 64 times. Heathen 5 times. People 2 times.
Right. Now go there. Yeah, read that.
Biblical usage.
A
multitude.
A multitude, right?
Whether of men or of beasts. Associated or living together.
Right.
Company, troop, or swarm.
A
multitude of individuals.
A multitude.
Same nature or genus.
A multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus. Keep this in mind, right? Read.
The human family.
A
tribe.
A tribe.
Nation.
A nation.
People group.
People group, right? Read on.
In the Old Testament, foreign nations not worshiping the true gods, pagans or Gentiles.
All right, so we're gonna get a couple places where this word was actually used for Israelites. People hear that, oh, heathen. If you look at the actual Greek word that's used, that was used for nation all the time, for Israelites and all that, right? Let's grab John chapter 18. John chapter 18, verse 34. And get that over there on the blue letter so they can see that also. John 18:34.
Read out the book of John, chapter 18, and verse 34. Yahushua answered him, saying, Thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it to thee of me? Pilate answered, Am I a Jew? Thine own nation and the chief priests have delivered thee unto me.
So he says, what? Now y'all able to see that, right? What scripture he's at? He said, Am I a Jew? Thine own nation, right? Go to that where it says nation. Ethnos. Same word. Same exact word. It's just how they translated. That's it. Right? Thine own nation, talking about the Jews, right? Let's get another one. Acts chapter 10, verse 22. Yeah, Acts chapter 10, verse 22. Actually, not this one. My fault. Let's get Acts 28, 19. Even though we know Cornelius is Israelite, but yeah, right. Yeah. Alaphilos, which I wasn't gonna get into a whole breakdown right now, but that's another class. I'll go into all of the whole Acts 10 in the future, right? But Acts 28 and 19.
Read out the book of Acts, chapter 28, and verse 19.
Yeah.
But when the Jews spake against it, I was constrained to appeal unto Caesar. Not that I had aught to accuse my nation of.
Who's speaking? Paul. He said my nation, right? Why was it? What word is used there? My nation, ethnos. Why didn't they always translate this to heathen? See, when they translated, a lot of they went off their presupposition basically, and when they translated, we're left to what the translators put. But when we dig into what was actually written there, we see differently. This word was used for Israelites all the time. It just means nation. So when you see it says heathen there, that's not talking about, he's talking about Israel. We seen who the covenant was for. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's all translator's choice. Like
Basically, yeah.
That if you would like do studies on this, find this because the translators lean a certain way.
Right.
You translate it a certain way.
Right. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that heathen there, it just means nation, right? Go ahead. Exactly.
Because I've seen other camps use the word Gentile and say Euro Gentile.
Yeah, I say that.
Never heard him say Euro
I
Gentile.
say
Heard them say, Euro Gentile. But I'm like, how you talking about Euro Gentile? This is not who they're talking to.
Yeah, nah.
That helps to keep that whole lie of we'll all be saved.
Right.
Everybody.
Right.
He said he came for the whole world.
Right.
But remember, even Paul said in his letters, he said, at times you were Gentile minded.
Right.
So that's the same thing.
And as we keep on going, we just playing this, letting it be known. But as we keep on going, you're gonna see that. Or he can't be talking to anybody but Israel. Give us a Gabar, you had your hand up?
Yes. So in verse 8, Galatians 3:8, heathen is ethnos.
Yes. That's ethnos. Right? So he's talking about the Israelites that was, remember, Israelites, if you wasn't circumcised the 8th day, what was the punishment for that? What was your judgment for the Most High? Not necessarily death, but being cut off from your people. Cut off from your people. And the Jews took that seriously. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 15, I believe I want. Ezekiel 11:15.
We had the book of Ezekiel, chapter 11, verse 15. Son of man.
Start at 14.
Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 14. Again, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, thy brethren, even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred, and all the house of Israel, holy.
All the house of Israel, holy. The whole house of Israel has what?
Are they unto whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Get you far from the Most High. Unto us is this land given in possession.
The inhabitants of Jerusalem, which will be the ones that kept the law, circumcised the 8th day, like the Pharisees, the Sadducees, how Paul was. You feel what I'm saying? The inhabitants of the land is telling all the other Israelites, y'all don't belong here. This is not yours. Y'all not one of us. Cut off.
And this was what Paul was actually fighting.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. He's bringing the Hellenized Israelites back into the truth and fighting against the ones that, that was saying they not part of this. And then the ones that was part of this, some of them was saying, yo, if y'all not circumcised the 8th day, you can't be saved at all. Others is saying, yo, y'all gotta, how you hear people now, ditch JC, you know what I mean? Ditch JC and come to this law. This is what was getting pushed. There's nothing new under the sun.
That's right.
Nothing new under the sun. So this is what Paul was fighting. Con? Making sense? Con. So let's go back to Galatians 3. I had you grab something out? No, right? Con. What's up, bro?
Sister Saladonia had mentioned a name. Name was, you said was person Saban.
Yeah.
Oh,
Euro Gentile.
Now, what does that mean? Because it's the first time.
I never heard them say Euro Gentiles. I'm guessing they talking about European Gentiles. Yeah. I really don't be watching other camps, so. Got you. Yeah. So they call here Euro Gentiles. It's crazy. But yeah, so we're gonna keep on where we was at. Galatians chapter 3.
Well, man, 8.
Yeah, 3 and
8.
8. Yeah, read 8 again.
Read now the book of Galatians, chapter 3 and verse 8. And the scripture, foreseeing that the Most High would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the gospel unto Abraham, saying, in thee shall all nations be blessed.
In thee shall all nations be blessed, right? Now,
Don't
he
say
uses
saved.
this- Huh?
Don't say saved.
Yeah, all nations shall be blessed. But you know what? When they actually look at what was said there, it was a contingency, right? Let's grab that real quick. That's Genesis. What's that? Genesis 17. Give me a second.
Talking about 21?
Is it 21?
Huh?
No, it's 12.
Okay.
Genesis 12. Genesis 12. We start at verse 1.
Oh.
Let's get the full, real understanding of what this is going into.
Read out the book of Genesis, chapter 12 and verse 1.
Oh.
Now the Most High had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee.
Right.
And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing.
And thou shalt be a blessing. We will be a blessing. We're going to be a blessing. Israel will be a blessing to everybody. And this is a fact. We will be. That don't mean they get salvation. We're going to teach them how to serve the Most High. That's how we're
That's
blessing.
it.
They getting some of that now.
Yeah,
They always have.
They in their salvation, right? But they always jump to, oh, everybody will be blessed through Abraham. Everybody be blessed, but they forget about these tendencies, these things that has to happen, right? Let's keep on reading.
And I will bless them that bless thee.
I will bless them that bless thee, and what?
And curse him that curses thee.
What nation blesses us? None. So they're gonna have to get that curse.
You know what's funny is that I was watching an interview with Tucker Carlson and what's his name? That senator from what's that senator? Gosh. Anyway, this senator was quoting this verse saying this is why they.
Oh, I seen what you. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what he was looking at and saying. This is why we have to bless Israel today.
Yeah,
that's them in the land.
Right.
Yeah. What's
I
up?
put this out too, saying everybody saying, you see how when we was growing up, they lived on the outskirts.
Mhm.
But we know the 400 years wasn't up yet.
Mhm.
But now they know what time it is. Now they move. They want to receive a blessing. That's all. That's why
Yeah.
they're around us, all
Yeah.
around us.
But they still cursing us.
That's
They cursing us to this day, right? So they gotta get that curse.
they got to get it.
This prophecy lets us know that they're gonna get that curse.
But they still calling you African American,
Right.
Puerto Rican.
But
That's-
it's ironic, right? That when we were in our punishment, nobody was in there to drown us with our punishment.
Right.
Now it's time for us to get blessed. They wanted somebody to get the blessing.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Not
What
at all.
did, what did Pharaoh say? Pharaoh said, and bless me too.
And bless me also, right? He said,
Put up a good word for me, y'all.
right.
To enjoy the beating with us.
Not at all. Not at
It
all.
doesn't work like that.
Pharaoh had found out Moses' God is God.
So let's see real quick. Let's
Where
see
we
where
at?
real quick where their blessings come in at. Let's get Isaiah chapter 2. Isaiah chapter 2. We're gonna start at verse 1.
Verse 9.
Verse 1.
Oh.
Isaiah chapter 2. And we're gonna start at verse 1. We're gonna see how their blessings gonna come in, when it's gonna come in. Right?
Read now the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, and verse 1. The word of Isaiah, the son of Amoz, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it came to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Most High house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
They're going to get to come to us. They're going to flow unto us. Once we are established on top of all other nations, there's not no equality amongst nations. That would never, ever be. There ain't no salvation amongst the heathen with us. Like, that's just madness. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be on top. We're going to be on top, and everybody had to flow to us, right? Read.
And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Most High.
And that day, they're going to want to serve the Most High. And they're going to want to serve us. Right? Read.
To the house of the power of Jacob.
The God of who? The power of who?
The power of Jacob.
Not everybody. They're going to know in that day who the Most High is dealing with. Right? Read on.
And he will teach us of his ways.
Right.
And we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go. For out of Zion shall go forth the law.
That same law that people trying to say Paul said was done away with. That they try to use Galatians 3 to say is done away with. That same law. Out of Zion shall go forth that law. We're going to enforce it, right? We don't?
And the word of the Most High from Jerusalem.
Right.
And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people.
That rebuke, that's not a light thing. That's that pow on a high level. They getting that spanking, that whooping their backs in. You feel what I'm saying? Read on.
And they shall beat their swords into plowshares.
They're going to beat their swords into plowshares,
And their spears into pruning hooks.
Go ahead.
Is this in Revelation where it says for them double? Is that what I'm seeing
This
here?
is going into that, yeah. But here's the thing, yeah. After a while, like they got their judgment that they got to go through. Every nation got a judgment they got to go through. After that judgment, they will be living good and happy. They're gonna be happy to serve us, but we're gonna have to force them to get that way.
And that's Isaiah.
Force them to get that way.
Isaiah,
this right here.
You won't get no rain.
Right. Oh yeah, that's
Zechariah 11.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But that's a lot of people don't realize what it means to be a light to the Gentiles. You hear a lot of people saying that. Be a light to the Gentiles. You gotta be a light to the Gentiles. The Gentiles coming to our light is not a good thing for them right away. You know what I'm saying?
No, because we'll grab that real quick
also. Let's finish this off real quick, and then we're going to jump to that.
And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. Neither shall they learn war anymore.
This is how we know that them Jewish people over there can't be the Israelites. They still warring. Right? But read on.
O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Most High.
Let us walk in the light of the Most High. Isaiah chapter 60, real quick.
16?
60.
60.
And we're going to start at the top and jump through this, and then get back to Galatians. Right?
Okay, where you at? Oh, yeah. Verse 3?
Started 1.
3? 1?
Started 1, yeah.
Read out the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, and verse 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Most High is risen upon thee.
Our light being the Most High and Yahweh Shah. Our light is come and gonna save us and in turn make us a light. Let us shine bright, right?
That's right. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people.
Which is what we in now. Gross darkness, this world, right? Read on.
But the Most High shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
They're going to see the Most High's glory on us, that light.
That's right.
We're going to be shining like the Most High shine, right? Read on.
And the Gentiles shall come to thy light.
And the Gentiles shall come to our light. That's us being a light to the Gentiles. This is when we get saved up out of here. Not no time before.
What is that for the Gentiles here?
Gentiles will most likely be, this is Goy, actually. Goyim.
Goyim.
Goyim, the Hebrew word. Gawayam, how we would say it. Gawayam, which actually means the same exact thing, nations.
Nation.
This word was used as Israelites also. Israelites was called Goyim. Right.
This is one of those places
Uh,
where people also do that.
well, if they do that here, they messing themselves up because as we see, the Israelites is going to shine. Israelites is going to be one. And it's showing the Gentiles is going to come and serve us.
Right.
That's what this is saying. It's not saying they on our level at all. Right? He said the Gentiles shall come to our light and what?
And the kings to the brightness of thy rising.
And the kings to the brightness of our rising. Right, read?
Lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy son shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
Read on.
Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear.
Our heart shall fear, meaning we're going to be astonished. We're going to be amazed how the Most High saves us out of it. We're going to be like,
Wisdom,
oh, wow, like it was a bad
Solomon
dream.
5, son.
Right. I mean, but read on.
And be enlarged. Because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee.
Everything that these other nations own becomes ours. That's what that means. The abundance of the sea is converted over to us. Whatever they got gold, give me that. Run that. Yeah, give me that. They got silver, run that. You know what I mean? Spoil them. Take all that. You feel what I'm saying? Read on.
The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
Of the Gentiles, that word forces, pachad in Hebrew, literally means riches. Yeah, you could grab it.
Yeah, right.
The riches, pachad, I believe it's pachad. Right. I believe that's pachad there, if I'm not mistaken. Here, we're gonna pull it up just to make sure. I don't want to misquote it. The forces. Oh, Chayol. No, that's Chayol. Right? Huh? You said spell that? Chaayal. Chaayal. Chayol. Yeah, read that.
KJV translation count 223. Army 56 times. Man of valor 37. Host 29. Forces 14. Valiant 13. Strength 12. Riches 11. Wealth 10. Power 9. Substance 8. Might 6. Strong 5. And miscellaneous 33.
Right.
So that's all that means, that getting taken over.
Yeah, we taking all that.
All that, yeah.
When you look in the other translations, it lets you know it's the riches. That's what that's supposed to be, right? The riches, all their wealth is getting transferred to us. Yeah, we taking it back.
The Most High said the gold and the gold and silver belong to him. Now, if you're his children's, belong to you.
Ladies, you ever went to see those costume jewelry and you said you wish it was real gold and stuff? That's where they got it from. But in the kingdom, it's going to be
Yeah, we getting all that back, right? So let's read verse 5 again, Babu Gashal.
Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. The multitude of camels shall cover thee.
So we taking their camels, right? Read.
The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense,
all
and they
gold, all their incense. Give me that, right? Read.
And they shall show forth the praises of the Most High.
Right. Let's jump down real quick.
Remember, they did that to who? They did that to the golden incense. They did that to Yahushua. They did that to Adam. So that's what's going to happen.
So now we see it's gonna change, right? We getting everything back. Let's jump down to 12. Everybody read this though in the future. Isaiah 60, Isaiah 60, Isaiah 61. That is the gospel, right? But let's read verse 12 real quick.
Reading out of Isaiah chapter 60, verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee.
The nation and kingdom that chooses not to serve us, feel like they're gonna get away with it. Shall what?
Shall perish.
Shall perish. Read on.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
That's us being a light to the Gentiles. That's us being a light to the Gentiles.
And some of them, lights out.
Good.
Remember I was saying we went to Esau's school? And like I said, everything is written by learning, right? Now the brother right here, what's up? He told me, he said he told his son, how was your son now, the oldest one? About 10 or 11? No, he just turned 9. Just turned 9? Well, still, he told him probably a couple years ago, he said that they play the red flag, you sit down. Now, my pastor said that to me back then. He said, your son sit down. He probably would have beat me. Now, I don't know, because I'm missing many things this and now. They said, I pledge allegiance to a flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God. It's going to be one nation. Now you got nations. That's what I'm going to say.
My man.
It's going to be one nation.
My man.
One nation of Israel. Right? Let's go back to Galatians 3. Let's go back to Galatians 3, right? So let's see where we at.
We should be on 9, right?
Verse 9, right?
Reading out the book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 9. So then, they which be of faith are blessed with faithful Abraham.
Those that be with faith, these Israelites that be with faith, be blessed as faithful Abraham. Abraham started with the faith and followed everything the Most High said for him to do. That's how we got to be. We got to have that faith. We got to believe that the Most High meant what he said when he's talking about he's going to send a prophet that we got to hear. You feel what I'm saying? That suffering servant that was going to die for us to bring us back to the Most High. We got to believe that, understand that, and follow the Most High's laws. Con? Let's read on.
Verse 10. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse.
Many of the works of the law are under the curse, right? Read.
For it is written, cursed is everyone that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them.
A lot of these Christians, this is one of their favorite spots to go to, and they'll try to say that the law is a curse. This is how they say the law is done away with.
I don't even get that one.
Yeah, if you follow the law, you will curse.
That's the
You know
devil.
That's of the devil. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that, right? The funny thing is, right? Let's grab let's get Romans chapter 3, verse 19. Romans chapter 3, verse 19. Yeah, we're gonna keep on reading. They usually try to go from 10 all the way to 13, right? But they don't understand it. Right? Romans chapter 3, and we're gonna read verse 19.
Reading out the book of Romans chapter 3, verse 19. Now we know that what things soever the law saith, it saith to them who are under the law.
The law says to them that are under the law. You'll hear many Christians say, we are no longer, when Christ died, we are no longer under the curse of the law. We are no longer under the curse of the law. If you, they under the curse? Yeah, where if you're not under the law, first of all, who's under the law? Israel was under the law, so who the curses fall upon? Israel. So that just cuts the Gentiles all the way out of this. Who's he talking to? Obviously, Israel. You feel what I'm saying? It says what? Read that again, Art.
Now we know that what things soever the Lord saith, it saith to them who are under the law.
Whatever the law saith, it says to them that are under the law, right? Read.
That every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before the Most High.
All the world being the world of Israel. Right? We got to keep this law. You know what I mean? But this law, this shows right here, this is showing who Paul is actually speaking to. He's speaking to Israelites, and he's letting them know that they have to keep that law. You got to keep the law. You feel what I'm saying? But again, the main thing he's talking about is don't put that over the faith of Yahushua, if that makes sense.
Yeah, let me read
You know
20.
what I mean? Keep on.
Therefore, by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified in his sight. For by the law is knowledge of
Right.
sin.
Right, which we read that earlier.
Right.
Let's grab Deuteronomy real quick. We're gonna get Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 26. Actually, we won't start it. Let's read verse 9 first.
Deuteronomy what, 25?
27.
27.
And we're gonna read verse 9 real quick.
Read the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses and the priests, the Levites, spake unto all Israel, saying, take heed and hearken, O Israel.
So who he's speaking to? Israel, right? Read.
This day thou art become the people of the Most High thy power.
And this day become the people of thy power, right? Jump down to 26. Verse 26.
Verse 20, Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 26. Cursed be he that confirmeth not all the words of this law to do them.
Cursed be he that confirms not all the words of this law to do them, right? The law itself is not a curse, of course. This is going into the judgments. That's what it's talking about, right? The judgments, right? For the curse. So let's go back to Galatians chapter 3 and read 10 again.
Wait, I was going to finish it. And all the people shall say,
amen.
All right. All right.
Come. So yeah, go back to Galatians chapter 3 and we're going to read verse 10 again.
Read out the book of Galatians chapter 3 and verse 10. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse, for it is written, cursed is everyone that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them.
So he's going into the judgments, right? Those that didn't keep the law will be cursed. First, you got the getting put to death. Then we got the actual curses that was given to us by the Most High, Deuteronomy 28, so on and so forth. These are the curses of the law, right? He said, cursed be those, everyone that continues not in all the things that are written in the book of the law to do them. Showing again, he's dealing with the law. The law is for who? Israel, right? So who he's talking to? Israel, right? Read on.
Verse 11. But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of the Most High, it is evident, for the just shall live by faith.
The just shall live by faith. Is he saying the law is done away with?
Nah.
Not at all, right? The just shall live by faith. We have faith that everything the Most High told us is real. That everything the Most High told us he wants us to do, and we're going to actually keep that, right? Let's get 1 Timothy chapter 1. Chapter 1, verse 8. And everybody know who wrote the letter to Timothy, right? Paul, right. Same person. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 8.
Read out the book of 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 8. But we know that the law is good.
We know that the law is good, right, Reed?
If a man use it lawfully.
If a man use it lawfully, the law is good, right? Let's grab also Romans chapter 7. Chapter 7, verse 12. Romans, chapter 7, verse 12.
Read out the book of Romans, chapter 7, and verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy.
The law is holy, right? And what?
And the commandment holy. And just. And good.
Again, Paul's writing. So how is the law a curse?
Is that the precept to Galatians 4 and 4?
Well, I was gonna get to all that.
Chaalaq.
Yeah, we could go there now though. We go there now. In all honesty, you pull it and read it.
Says but Galatians chapter 4 verse 4 says, but when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law.
To redeem them that were under the law. Again, showing who Paul is talking to. Who was under the law? We just seen who that was, Israel.
And that
So-
it's a it says
Right.
that we might receive the adoption of sin. So it's not just Paul, it's also the audience he's writing.
Right. So that adoption is for who? We read Romans 9, everybody see that.
You get read 6 also. 6
Mhm.
piece to it.
And because ye are sons, God had sent forth the spirit of his son into your hearts, crying,
Mhm.
Abba, Father.
Right?
Let me read this real quick.
Count.
This is Hebrews 11:1. You can write it down. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
Right.
I'll leave it there.
Call the lawyer, right? Faith is a substance. Read that again, from the top.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Right.
For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
That's good. Right? All praises. So let's grab.
More like a statement, or I don't even know how to put it. It's like, let me try and put it this way. It's like the faith that you're supposed to have is like, say you're sitting on a chair and you know that the chair is behind you and you're sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to look to see if you're going to sit on the chair. You just know that the chair is there and you're going to sit.
Right.
That's that kind of a faith, knowing that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, the thing unseen. You don't see it.
I don't know
You know what I
if it
mean?
makes
But
sense.
I see what you're saying.
Well, we hoping the faith that we have sitting here and all over the world, with the faith we have, is that Yahweh's kingdom is coming. That's the faith. That's the thing that we don't see yet.
Right.
We only get a glimpse of it through the scriptures.
Yeah.
Revelation 4. That's that glimpse.
So let's go back to Galatians chapter 3. We're gonna read 10 again.
Okay.
And read down.
Reading out the book of Galatians chapter 3 and verse 10. For as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. For it is written, cursed is everyone that continues not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them. But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of the Most High. It is evident, for the just shall live by faith.
So now he's getting into the works of the law, right? Now, what was the works of the law that they was having an issue with at the time? Let's grab real quick Hebrews chapter 9. Hebrews chapter 9, we're gonna start at verse 6. We had the circumcision that was the issue, right? Another issue, another major issue is what we touched on this last week also. Sacrifice. Sabbath days, you had to have a sacrifice. Holy days, you're supposed to have a sacrifice. Along with the circumcision, you have a child sacrifice, right? You can't do that in other countries, can you? You have to be in the temple, right? This is another thing. That's why we needed Yahweh's sacrifice to bring us closer to the Most High, right? So let's get that Hebrews chapter 9, and we're gonna start at verse 6.
Reading out the book of Hebrews chapter 9, verse 6. Now, when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of the Most High.
Right. So they went in that first tabernacle to give up sacrifices, make up how you say appeasing the Most High, right? Read on.
Verse 7, but into the second went the high priest alone, once every year.
For the Day of Atonement, right? Read on.
Now, not without blood,
Uh-huh.
which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people.
Right, because this was supposed to atone for our sins. Atone for us to bring us closer to the Most High, right? Read on.
The Holy Spirit that signifying that the way into the holiness of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing, which was a figure for the time then present, in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices that could not make him that did the service perfect as pertaining to the conscience.
Right. So these sacrifices wasn't making the priest himself perfect. It wasn't making us perfect because we kept on sinning. Right? Read on.
Verse 10, which stood only in meats and drinks and diverse washings and carnal ordinances imposed on them until the time of the Reformation.
Right.
But Hamashiach,
to the time of the Reformation, coming into that New Testament,
right,
that new covenant, right? Read on.
But Hamashiach, being come and high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands,
right?
That is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood, he entered in once.
By his own blood, entered in once, and what?
In once into the holy place, having ordained eternal redemption for us,
bringing us back to the Most High. That redemption, right? Read on.
For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of an heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctifieth to purifying of the flesh.
If the blood of bulls and goats, because the Most High said he gave us the blood on the altar for what? The remission of sins, right? So if the blood of bulls and goats is doing that, right? What? Read on.
How much more?
How much more
shall the blood of Hamashiach, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to the Most High, purge your conscience from dead works?
Purge the works of the Lord. Dead works, right? Because people was sacrificing and, still sinning. We was still off. Now you got these people, you had certain stuff that sacrifices wasn't for. Idolatry, for one. You ain't have no sacrifice for idolatry. There was no sacrifice for adultery, no sacrifice for fornication, no sacrifice for not being circumcised the 8th day, no sacrifice for breaking the Sabbath days. Read on.
Purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living power.
To serve the living Most High, right? Read.
And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament.
For this cause, he's the mediator. Yahweh Shah is the mediator of the New Testament, right? Read.
That by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
I see that, right? His death for those that was under the first testament, the first covenant, which everybody know who that was. We all here know who that is. We already went through it over and over again. Israel. Yahweh Shah's death was for Israel. You want to say something? Yeah, literally. Right.
His death is for those under the first testament.
Right.
They don't want to say the first covenant.
Yeah, testament and covenant. When y'all actually look at the Greek word that's used, it's the exact same thing, testament and covenant. Same exact word.
Inheritance is talking only for God's people.
Only for his people, Israel.
But you go back up, talk about promise. It was only promise to one people.
Only promise. So we all boils down to one people. Everywhere we go, it all boils down to the one people. This is not for everybody, right?
Let me read 16. 16, finish it off. Verse 16. For where a testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the testator.
Right. It must of a necessity be the death of the testator, right? Let's get what I want. Let's grab Acts chapter 13 verse 39. Acts chapter 13 verse 39.
We had the book of Acts chapter 13 and verse 39. And by him all that believe are justified from all things,
Right.
from which ye could not be justified by the law of Moses.
That's what Yahweh Shah blood did for us. He brought us back. He's letting these people in Galatia understand that they need Yahweh Shah. Like, stop putting all your faith in the Lord. Stop listening to these brothers that's coming out of Jerusalem telling y'all these things. Y'all need Yahweh Shah. You can't brush them off. You feel what I'm saying? Let's go back to Galatians though. And where was that? 13?
No, let me see.
12? Read verse 12. 11?
We finished it.
Con. So read
No, we're
verse
doing 12 right now. Reading out the book of Galatians chapter 3 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
And the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them.
The man that do these things shall live in them. He's quoting Leviticus chapter 18, which we could grab real quick. He's quoting it, but he's not quoting it all the way, right? He said the law, you could grab Leviticus 18:5, but it says, and the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them. Let's see exactly how it's actually put. Because every aspect of the law was part of it when he's saying the law, but it's talking about a specific thing.
18 and what?
18 verse 5. Leviticus.
Reading out the book of Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 5. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes.
Shall keep my statutes and what?
And my judgments.
And my judgments. What's the judgments? Everybody
Which?
Keep this in mind. What's the judgments?
Punishments.
The punishments. The punishments. If you break these laws, you will be punished. These are the curses of the Lord that he's actually talking about when he's going into. That we're not under no more. Right? He said, and my judgments, read.
Which, if a man do, he shall live in them.
We have to live by that law.
I am the Most High.
Right. And we had judgments, but when Yahweh Shah died, we was freed from those judgments. We was freed from the curses of the law. We was able to come back to him. Is this making sense to everybody?
Come.
We was freed from the judgments, which is the curses that he's talking about. The law itself was not a curse. The law is righteous and holy, but there was curses in the law, judgments in the law that was part of the law that we had to follow. But now Yahweh Shah died, it gave us grace. Now we got grace to get right, but that's not a license to sin. Keep that in mind, because the Most High will judge us. The judgments is still there. We just not judging each other no more.
Right.
The Most High will be the judge. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, let's go back to Galatians chapter 3.
Reading the book of Galatians chapter 3, verse 13. Hamashiach hath redeemed us from the curse of the Lord, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree.
Yahweh Shah redeemed us from the curse of the Lord, right? Being made a curse for us, right? Let's grab Luke real quick also. Let's get Luke chapter 1. Luke chapter 1. We're going to read verse 67.
Read out the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 67. And his father, Zacharias, was filled with the Holy Spirit.
Right.
And prophesied, saying.
So Zacharias being a father of John the Baptist, right?
Yeah.
Read on.
Blessed be the power of Israel, the Most High power of Israel, for he hath visited.
Blessed be the Most High power of Israel, the God of Israel, right? Read.
For he has visited and redeemed his people.
Visited and redeemed his people. That's who the Most High redeemed. Visited and redeemed his people, right? Read.
And he hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
He raised up a horn of salvation for us, not everybody. Horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, right? Read.
Could I say something also? Zacharias, he was a Levite.
He was a Levite.
And he talk about house of David, which
Come.
is Judah,
Come. Right?
as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies.
So we being redeemed and saved from our enemies. If we being saved from our enemies, how is our enemies going to be saved? Like, how does that work? How is salvation for everybody when it's showing that we're being saved from our enemies? How does our enemies get salvation? It don't make sense at all. This obviously can't be for everybody. These Galatians that he's talking to is not just anybody. These is Israelites.
It's right, but when we be out in camp too, sometimes people saying salvation for everybody.
Yeah, that's
saying that too.
Because they're not understanding the words that's used, right? And they're not going deep into this, right? But he said, raise up a horn of salvation for us, right?
In the house of his servant David.
Read.
As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us.
And from the hand of all that hate us, right? Right. Read on.
To perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant.
Right. Remember his holy covenant, that his seed, we read that earlier, that his seed, you feel what I'm saying? He's going to show mercy to his seed. Choose his seed. His seed is the heir. Right.
And the best part about this is whenever we pray, we can always go back to see what it says and to remember. When you ask the Most High, remember, he loves that. He loves when you tell him, remember what you said. He loves that. Can't put the Most High on the spot.
God. Right? But you, go ahead.
The real beautiful thing is that it was already planned from the beginning.
That's what he said.
That's a
From
fact.
the beginning,
Yeah.
he had already planned to save.
Yeah.
Could I read verse 70 again since you said that?
Yeah,
Verse 70. As he
on.
spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began.
Right. Read on.
Foundation even.
Read on.
The oath which he sware to our father Abraham, that he would grant unto us, that we being delivered out of the hand of our enemies might serve him without fear.
We might be able to serve the Most High without fear. Right? Right. Serving is an action.
That's right.
It's an action, right? So yeah, we could go back to Galatians chapter 3.
Let me read 75.
In
holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life.
You know what? Let's
all right.
Let me see. What else I want to grab real quick.
Let's just find
let's see. Let's get you know what? Let's go back to Galatians chapter 3. And we keep this going. Right? Where we left off at? 13 or 14? Okay, calm.
I'll read 14 again. That the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Hamashiach Yahushua.
And we know this is the same Gentiles, the Israelites that the Jews cast to the side. Same ones that grew up as Greeks, call themselves Ephesians, call themselves Galatians,
Spartans,
so on and so forth. All these Israelites in other places, right? Read on.
That we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith.
That we might receive the promise of Spirit through faith.
We're in the book of Psalms 143, verse 10. Teach me to do thy will, for thou art my power, thy spirit is good. Lead me into the land of uprightness.
God. Right? Let's keep on reading that.
Verse 15. Brethren, I speak after the manner of men.
So this is Paul saying, I speak after the manner of men, right? Read.
Though it be but a man's covenant.
Though it be a man's covenant, right? Most High made this covenant with a man. This is a man's covenant, right? Read.
Yet if it be confirmed.
And it was confirmed, right?
No man disannulleth
No man disannulleth for what?
or addeth thereto.
How you want to add to where it said his seed? His seed is the heir. This covenant is for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, their children. How you adding anybody else to it? Yeah, it's over for you, right? Don't add to or take away. No man could disannul this covenant that the Most High made with Abraham. Nobody could add to, showing who these Galatians is that he's talking to. Israelites. These people are the seed of Abraham.
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? Read on though.
This is important here. Verse 16. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made.
To his seed, because Abraham had what, 8 children?
Yep.
Only one was chosen. Only one to that seed, Isaac. From Isaac, Jacob. From Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? The seed, right? Read.
He has not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one. And to thy seed, which is Hamashiach.
And to thy seed, which is Hamashiach, right? Read on.
And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of the Most High in Hamashiach, the law,
that law, right? Read.
Which was 430 years after, cannot disannul. That it should make the promise of none effect.
So we still got to keep the law. That was us entering the covenant, but it's not going to make the promise of no effect.
So he's saying that the Most High made that promise before we got the law.
Right.
So
law came 430 years later.
Us not keeping the law has no effect on that promise.
Right.
The Most High's promise was made.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. That's where we putting our faith in the Most High, putting our faith in Yahweh Shah, not on the letter of the law. You know what I'm saying? But that, again, we still got to keep that law.
The good,
right?
the good husband, the good husband that never dies.
Right.
The death to depart.
What it's also saying too, it says it, and the law which was 430 years after, showing you that 430 years goes back to when the Most High made the promise with
Abraham.
Right.
Abraham, right. Right. Absolutely.
It was not 430 years
in slavery.
Right.
He made the promise with Abraham from that day to the day that we came out with the Exodus is the 430 years all together. That's what he's showing us right here.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, let's keep on going.
For if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more of promise.
Right.
But Yahweh gave it to Abraham by promise.
He gave it to him by promise.
Everything started with Abraham.
Right.
Count.
Right.
Everything went into the clock started when the Most High made that promise with Abraham.
That's right.
Right. Everything started with that, right? We know that Most High chose Abraham.
Right.
Most High chose Abraham. Abraham listened. Then Abraham got the covenant for circumcision, right? So this is how it goes. It's the spirit of faith, right? Let's keep on going on.
Wherefore then serveth the law?
So how you want to serve the law? Again, these people putting the law over Yahweh Shah, right? How you going to serve the law, right? Read.
It was added because of transgressions. Till the seed should come to whom the promise was made.
To whom the promise was made. To Abraham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Right? Read.
And it was ordained by angels in the hand of a mediator.
Right.
Now, mediator is not a mediator of one, but Yahweh is one.
Right.
Is the Lord then against the promise of Yahweh? Yahweh forbid.
Yahweh forbid. Meaning, yeah, don't get rid of that law. That's what you get. Yeah, the law is not going against the promise at all. You feel what I'm saying? Read on.
For if there had been a law given which could have given life, verily righteousness should have been by the law.
Yeah, because we wasn't keeping the law. It's not against the law itself.
Right.
It was against us. We kept breaking the law.
Right.
We was the ones that was breaking the Sabbath, being all type of wicked. You feel what I'm saying? So read on.
But the scripture has concluded all under sin.
Most High, the scriptures show that we all was under sin. Right? Read.
That the promise by faith of Hamashiach Yahushai might be given to them that believe.
Right. So we start hearing of the faith, right? And come to the Most High. What you gonna say?
2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7. For we walk by faith, not by sight.
Mm-hmm. We walk by faith, not by sight. Right? That's good. All right, so
That
let's
goes
keep
back
on
to
reading.
11 and 1 Hebrews.
Let's keep on reading in Galatians.
Verse 23. But before faith came, we were kept under the law,
Uh-huh.
shut up unto the faith which should afterwards be revealed.
He said, but before faith came, we were kept under the law. Again, who was under the law? Let's grab on real quick Psalms chapter 78, verse 5. Psalms chapter 78, verse 5. All right. Before faith came, we was kept under the law.
Reading out the book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
For he established a testimony in Jacob
Uh-huh.
and appointed a law in Israel,
Pointed the law in Israel, right? Read.
which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children.
Right. We're supposed to teach our children these laws. We were kept under the law. Again, showing that this cannot be anybody other than Israel that he's talking to. Knowing that he's talking to Israel, and we know that the law is an everlasting thing, we have to keep the law. His main purpose is showing them the faith of Yahushua. This is what he's trying to beat in their heads. It's what he's trying to beat in their heads constantly. The faith of Yahushua. We need him. Right? Let's read on.
That the generation
Let's go back what you call it? Galatians, come. Right? Galatians, read on verse 23 again, Baruch.
but before faith came,
Mhm.
we were kept under the law, shut up unto the faith
Uh-huh.
which should have afterwards be revealed.
Right?
Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster
Uh-huh.
to bring us unto Hamashiach,
Uh-huh.
that we might be justified by faith.
And again, if the law is our schoolmaster, this can't be the Gentiles, because the Gentiles knew nothing about the law.
In other words, it was the foundation.
It was a foundation. It was a foundation for the Israelites. Right? Let's keep on reading.
Verse 25. But after that faith is come, we are no longer under the schoolmaster.
Uh-huh.
For ye are all the children of power by faith in Hamashiach Yahushua.
And this is going into the sacrifices, right? We are no longer under that. Give me a quick second. Let me grab this. We want to grab what is it I want? 1 Corinthians chapter 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 13, right? Yeah, I keep this in mind.
Read out the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 13.
Actually, start at 12.
Starting at 12.
Uh-huh.
Right, this thing is stuck. Old pages. Okay. Now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am of Paul, and I am of Apollos.
Uh-huh.
You said 1 and 12, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so read out the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am of Paul, and I of Apollos, and I of Cephas, and I of Hamashiach.
Uh-huh.
Is Hamashiach divided?
Is Christ divided? No. Christ is not divided, right? Read.
Was Paul crucified for you?
Was Paul crucified for you? Reason we come in here, because everybody want to base everything that they do, not everybody, but a lot of Christians base a lot of stuff of what they read in Paul. Misunderstanding what Paul was trying to say and base their whole theology off of that. Paul is letting it be known. Was I crucified for you? The way they talk, and the reason, because I was talking to a Christian not too long ago, and he made it seem like Paul had the most. Everything was given to him. He understood more than Moses. He understood more than Yahushua. He understood like he was the top of the top. This is how they try to make it seem. You feel what I'm saying? Paul let it be known, because there's a lot of people even back then. Yeah, I learned from Cephas. I'm of Yahushua. I'm of Paul. He like, yo, don't put nothing on me.
Word.
Don't put nothing on me. He said, was Paul crucified for you? Right? Read 13 again, huh?
Is Hamashiach divided?
Uh-huh.
Was Paul crucified for you?
Uh-huh.
Or were ye baptized in the name of Paul?
Uh-huh.
I thank Yahweh that I baptized none of you.
Uh-huh. I think the Most High, I ain't baptized none of you. Y'all keep trying to put stuff on my name. Right? Read.
But Crispus and Gaius.
Right? So he said, thank God I ain't baptized none of you. We supposed to be followers of Yahushua, right? Let's get on Deuteronomy 18:18. Come.
Verse 15. Lest any should say that I had baptized in mine own name.
Come. I'm glad I ain't do that.
Right?
Y'all,
So you niggas,
y'all putting too much on me.
I know he said that.
Y'all putting way too much on me.
Right.
Right? So you get Deuteronomy 18:18, right? Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 18.
Read out the book of Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 18. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren.
And Most High speaking, of course.
Like unto thee.
He said, I'm going to raise up a prophet unto their brethren like unto thee. Like Moses, right? Everybody know who this prophet is.
God.
All the scholars, everybody, any Christian, they all know who this is. This is Yahushua. Right, read.
And will put my words in his mouth.
He'll put his words in his mouth, and what?
And he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
Right. Read on.
And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he has spake in my name, I will require it of him.
He said, those that do not listen to Yahushua will be punished. Most High is going to require them. So what did Yahushua say? I keep that in mind. What did Yahushua say? Let's grab on Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5, and we'll start at verse 17.
Not 17. I knew you was going there. That's the one. Read out the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
He said, don't even put that in your mind. Don't even have that in your mind. Think not that he came to destroy the law, right?
Or the prophets.
Or the prophets.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
He came to fulfill. What did he fulfill?
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
Said one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law.
Till all be fulfilled.
Till all be fulfilled. Yahushua, well, Paul said he followed Yahushua. He believed the same thing. Till all be fulfilled. All wasn't fulfilled. There's still many prophecies that still got to happen.
Okay.
So what did Christ come to fulfill? Because a lot of people try to come here also say, oh, he fulfilled the law. What did he actually fulfill? Let's get Acts. I see you going there. 3:18. Come. Acts chapter 3, verse 18. Come. Acts chapter 3, verse 18.
Read out the book of Acts, chapter 3, and verse 18. And on my servants and on my handmaidens.
Acts chapter 3.
That's 3. That's not 3. Oh, that's
Acts
2.
chapter 3, verse 18.
Right,
come.
Acts chapter 3, verse 13. The power 18. Okay. But those things which the Most High before had showed by the mouth of all his prophets that Hamashiach should suffer, he hath so fulfilled.
Everything that he was going to suffer that was written about him in the law and prophets. That's what he fulfilled, not the whole law.
I have one too.
Luke? Yeah, I was going to go there next. You grab it. Call it, read it.
This is Luke 24,
Uh-huh.
verse 44.
Uh-huh.
And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you,
Uh-huh.
that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the laws of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me.
Concerning him.
Luke
He's
24, 44.
he still got to come back and for the second coming. He still got a lot of blood that he got to spill.
Mhm.
All that's prophesied
That's
about.
right. Who's that man coming through Basra
Right. You know what I'm saying?
in the white garment dipped in blood?
Which from Matthew 5:17.
Well, we're going to go right back to Matthew 5:17 also. We're going to go right back to Matthew 5:17
We're in the
also.
book of Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. He says, I'm not come. 10:34. Matthew 10:34. Yeah, it says, think not that I am
Come
come
bring peace.
to send peace
Peace
on
on
earth.
Uh-huh.
I, Yahushua, come not to send peace, but a sword.
He came not to send peace but a sword.
That's right.
Right? It's going to be issues when he come back. So let's get Matthew 5. We're going to read 17 again. 17 to 20.
Read now the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 17.
Uh-huh.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets.
Uh-huh.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
And we see that's talking about what he had to go through. Him coming here, teaching the word, getting on the cross, raising the third day. That's what that's talking about. That's what he fulfilled. There's still much more that he got to come and fulfill, right? Let's read on.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
Now, one jot and one tittle. This is our Savior, right?
Okay.
This is our Lord and Savior. So who we supposed to be listening to? You know what I'm saying? He said, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the Lord till all be fulfilled. We got a whole lot of prophecies that still got to happen. We're going to keep on reading. We're going to read down to 20. Right? Keep on.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments
Uh-huh.
and shall teach men so,
Uh-huh.
he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Who shall break one of these least commandments and teach men, so shall be in the least in the kingdom of heaven. Right. Right. But they don't follow their Lord and so-called Lord and Savior, right? These people worship a fake Paul. They not even a real Paul, a made-up Paul. Right? Read on.
But whosoever shall do and teach them,
Uh-huh.
the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
That's what we searching for, right? Those that do the Lord and teach them shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. That's thus saith Yahushua. Right? Read on.
For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter in the kingdom of heaven.
Unless your righteousness exceeds that. And they was very strict on the law. Unless your righteousness exceeds that, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven, right? Let's go back to Galatians chapter 3. Right? So the schoolmaster, when it comes in, we got to keep the law. Yahushua was that sacrifice. That's what it's getting into. Right? We had the sacrifice in the temple until Yahushua died. We still was sacrificing, but for that atonement, that real atonement to get us back to the Most High. Right? But let's keep on. We at Galatians chapter 3, verse 26.
Read the book of Galatians chapter 3 and verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
For ye are all the children of Yahweh by faith in Hamashiach Yahushua.
We use all the children of Yahweh by the faith of the Mashiach Yahushua. Talking about who is the children of Most High, who is chosen to be his children. Of course, we already understand this, right? Matthew chapter 1:21. What's up, Bob? What you got? What you got?
Yeah, read that book of 1 Kings chapter 9. verse
Matthew
6.
1:21, Bible show.
But if ye at all turn from following me,
Mm-hmm.
ye all your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes, which I, the Most High, have set before you, but go and serve other powers and worship them.
Come. We gotta keep his commandments. Keep read that for me out.
Matthew chapter 1, verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua, for he shall save his people from their sins.
We see who Yahushua came for. He came for his people. Let's get Acts chapter 13. Let's get 13 verse 23.
Read out the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 23. Of this man's seed shall Yahweh.
Everybody know who's speaking here? This is Paul right here. Same person that wrote Galatians, right? He said, of this man's seed hath the Most High, according to promise, right? Read.
Raised unto Israel a savior.
Raised unto Israel a savior, not everybody.
Yahushua.
Right, read.
When John had first preached before his coming the baptism of repentance to all the people of Israel.
To all the people of Israel. John only taught to Israel, right? Read.
And as John fulfilled his course, he said, whom think ye that I am? I am not he.
Right.
But behold, there cometh one after me, whose shoes of his feet I am not worthy to loose.
Right.
Men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, and whosoever among you feareth Yahweh.
Men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, his seed, right? And whosoever among you that what?
That feareth Yahweh, to you is the word.
Is the word
of his salvation sent.
To you is the word of salvation sent, right? Let's go back to Galatians real quick.
Quite, that word is the scriptures, and that word is Yahushua.
Right. All right.
Good class.
So let's keep on reading Galatians chapter 3, and you can read 26 again.
Reading out of the book of Galatians chapter 3, verse 26. For ye are all the children of Yahweh, by faith in Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right.
For as many of you that have been baptized into Hamashiach have put on Hamashiach. There is neither Jew nor Greek.
Yeah, see, y'all was Greeks. Y'all was Greeks before. Y'all grew up as Greeks.
That's right.
And we got the people that grew up as Jews. There's no difference. We the same people. We are all children of Most High. We're the chosen. Right? He said there's neither Jew nor Greek.
There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male or female. For ye are all one in Hamashiach Yahushua.
We are all one in Hamashiach Yahushua. We, Israel, all one in Hamashiach Yahushua, right? Read.
And if ye be Hamashiach, then are ye Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise.
According to the promise. And we read the promise already. His seed, his heirs, that's coming out of his bowels, not servants that cleave on. Let's grab Romans chapter 9 real quick. We're gonna end it off. Romans chapter 9, and we're gonna read 25. We ain't gonna read all of Romans 9. We're gonna start at 25.
Now the book of Romans chapter 9, verse 25. As he saith also in Isaiah, maybe. Hosea.
It's OC, which is Hosea.
Yeah, Hosea. I will call them my people, which were not my people.
And when we read that, actually, Baba Shah, grab me Hosea. Yeah.
Go ahead, you read it.
Yeah. Come. We're gonna see what he's quoting, right?
It's the book of.
Come.
Where you want me to start? 1 and 10?
You start at 10, yeah.
It's the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10.
Yet
the number of the children of Israel.
So we see who the context is about, right? Children of Israel, right? Shall be what?
Shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Right.
And it shall come to pass, that in the place where it is said unto them, ye are not my people.
This was going on in Israel back in the days where they was being called not their people. In the lands of the captivities, in Galatia, in Ephesus, in Colossae, in Corinth, in Athens, and all these places, they was called not his people. Over here, we were called not his people, right? But read.
There it shall be said unto them,
Ye
are the sons of the living God.
We are coming into our heritage now.
Read the next verse.
Come.
Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together.
The northern kingdom and southern kingdom together.
Right. And appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land. For great shall be the day of Jezreel.
Great shall be that day when we get, and this is a future prophecy. Great shall be that day when we come together. But this is Paul letting it be known that this is the start of it by him gathering the Jews that was Hellenized from other places. Jezreel put this mean the upright one, if I'm not mistaken. The upright one. Pull that up, Abu Shah. What's up? Acts chapter 13, verse 26. Con. We'll get that.
Israel.
Israel.
I thought it meant Israel. I just was,
right?
I thought it meant Israel. I just didn't want to say that. I didn't want to be wrong.
Israel, right? So let's finish this up, and we're gonna grab the scripture the sister want. So
what you want to do? Get what she wants now.
Now where we was just at Romans 9:25. Want to read 25, 27.
Yeah, Romans 9:25. Read out the book of Romans chapter 9 verse 25. And he said also in Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people.
Which we see who he's talking about, Israel. That's who he's quoting about Israel, right? Read.
And her beloved, which was not beloved. And it came to pass, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power.
Right. This is the Gentiles, the Israelites coming back to their heritage. Right? Read on.
Isaiah also cried concerning Israel.
Letting it be known exactly who he's talking about. He keeping it going. Isaiah also cried about Israel, right? Read.
Though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved.
A remnant shall be saved, right? So the sister wanted me to break down what you wanted. Acts, you said 13, 26?
13 and 26.
That's what you said, right? 13,
yeah, we
26.
Just read it.
Let's go back to that, Bubble Show.
Read out the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 26. Men and brethren. Children of the stock of Abraham.
So you know who the stock of Abraham is, right, sister? Israel, right? We are the stock of Abraham. We are the chosen, the heir seed, right? Read.
And whosoever among you feareth Yahweh.
So any of you, those are the stock of Abraham.
Because it says, and whosoever. Remember it mentioned children of Abraham already. And it is saying, and whosoever.
Among you. So who's he talking to?
That's what I need to explain.
He's talking to the children of Abraham. He's still talking to them. Whosoever among you. I'm talking to this whole class right now, right? Whosoever among you fears the Most High. So maybe not everybody here fear the Most High. Whosoever among you that fear the Most High, this is who the word of salvation is sent. Right. Whosoever among you, the children of the stock of Abraham. That's who he's talking to right now.
Let's continue.
Yeah. So that's basically everything, right? Everybody was edified. Anybody want any more? Yeah. Keep it in context, right? That's the whole point of this. Keep it in context. We want to, in context, how we get the context, who, what, when, where, why. and how. You got the literal context, and you got what was the other one? The scenery. What was it? Let me pull it
Scenic.
back up again. Context. You got the verbal context and the situational context, right? Verbal context, the words, phrases, or sentences that come before and after a specific passage, determining its true meaning. Situational context, the time, location, culture, and conditions surrounding an event or behavior. And that's why we went into everything that we went to in the beginning of the class
Fine.
to see what led up to these, where Paul was going, where these Israelites were scattered to. Any more questions? You good? And with that, we give all praises to the Most High.
Okay.
The water Yahweh.